My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com. All right, license 7HCW951. And Pacifico Cerveza, this is the logo on this truck. He's in the store in operation of a communication device, and while I'm standing in the parking lot in Rancho Cucamonga, the entity is molesting me with directed light, which again, 7VKY384 is occurring at third-party facilitating venue at 7-Eleven. U269WO 5BZC718. And it is currently, by the way, 7CML091. And again, the company engaging in that sex offense, this is Cerveza Pacifico, the company that I will prosecute. You've got a demon operating this commercial vehicle, and that demon is in operation of a communication device. In that specific environment, the fake sun is directly over the 7-Eleven at Rancho Cucamonga, and this is the company Gate City that's carrying that logo. So I'm identifying two third parties here: Gate City Beverage Distributing, LLC, US.22236, and the license plate is again 9E83133. That is Gate City that is engaging in what is state surveillance and terrorism with the people of the state who you see in front of that 7-Eleven. The fake sun is directly over them. Those demons that you see moving about, they're pacing. And they are sex offenders, including Gate City, a sex offender that is molesting me with directed light, just to engage in what is nothing other than harassment. Because I'm literally just pulling out my carrier out the car. And so you're engaging what is just flashing with directed light, because I guess you want me to document these minions over here in 7-Eleven, because that's what I'm about to do. 8WNG957, 8ZTG578, 8DLR220. They're all sex offenders. They're all monitoring together. That's why you have a fake sun and directed light. It's an indication of everything that everyone is engaged in around you. And you also know that they're demons. 6WST105. Crossing path 8WKM145. That's impunity. This is a demon that knows its documentation is underway, knows that someone's aware of the fact that they're being targeted, and you're still stalking crossing path. That's speaking to impunity. 5YLY605. 8MJD389. And again, that demon that is operating third-party Gate City / Pacifico Cerveza. This is, again, commercial stalking. 7GIP715, a commercial stalker engaging in the sex offense. 7PEH078, impunity. And he is captured inside of the 7-Eleven monitoring. All right, it's not enough that he's sexually molesting. This is a demon that's touching my body with directed light, harassing with directed light. 8MKS799, impunity. License 8MJD389. I think I might have read that one. 8CKN238. It's not enough that he's touching, because that's what all these demons are doing. They're touching with directed light. And then when I walk into the store, he's going in to continue documenting. And this is why you see him standing at the back of the store. Ooh, baby, I love. That's what this, I was about to call my name. That's what this minion is talking about. He's on the phone talking about, oh, baby, I love you. I hope you have a good day. While flashing directed light is occurring inside of the 7-Eleven. 9BQK627. He could talk about anything he wants. He could talk about the heart surgery that he's about to endure. And under the fake sun and in directed light, it's operation of a communication device. He's engaged in monitoring. 4FIR708, pacing. Demon surrounding 8ZXR168. 6VPL770. UF0. This is P.O.C. A bunch of demons come at one time right now on both sides of the parking lot. And this is what Cerveza Pacifica Gate City is engaging in, 7-Eleven. This is Let me see these venues. Belarus Nails and Spa, 7NDF137, Ding Tea, Taiwanese Tea House, the 8GVW723, 7KCT004, 8WNG957, I think I read that one. They're all monitoring while the rest of these demons are coming all together as one pack to go to that parking lot. They're pacing in direction. They come into the driveway. They all drive in opposite direction. They're pacing around. 8ZTG578, engaged in surveillance. This is the Asian. Engaged in criminal surveillance. This is the demon that's a part of that same sex offense in operation of a communication device sitting around parked in directed light. Again, that's 8ZTG578. I'm looking at what is the Bolero. There's a bowling alley in this plaza where 7-Eleven is located. The Fuller Smiles Dental. P.S. Ahuja Dental Corporation. P.S. AHUJA is the name. This is the venue where they're monitoring. This is P.O.C. All right, and they're sex offenders, so I want to make sure I document this group of sex offenders engaging in terrorism together. They're a bunch of demons, a pack of demons, as they're entering the ingress and egress. What these demons are doing, as I've shown you on video, they drive by and direct light moves across. That's exactly what they're doing all over the asphalt. Demons pacing all around. This is what they're doing while I'm inside of any vehicle. Directed light flashing inside of a car, touching on my person. So this is what they're doing while I'm standing at the parking lot, getting out of the vehicle, grabbing my property. IFIB, this is the demon. License IFIB132, I believe. That's why they're driving around, because they're stalking. That's how you know they're monitoring, they're creating activity. License IIFDB32. Going to third-party facilitating venue parked in front of the Belarus Nails and Spa. Alrighty, it is currently, by the way, where the fake sun is in Ranch Cucamonga over this 7-Eleven, where demons are molesting with directed light. This is harassment by a bunch of demons, by the way. 6XOJ265, who are stalking you. It's 8:53 a.m. And that demon is you're understanding what I mean by the demonic pacing. They're pacing all around you. The significance of them driving their car and walking around you, sitting in their vehicles. This is surveillance in this specific environment. It's crossing path in this specific environment. And there are demons that are doing that. And they're driving around because directed light is all over the surfaces while they're doing that. This is Satan that is creating activity all around you. Activity creation with regard to monitoring with communication devices, while engineered light is all over the buildings, the walls, the asphalt. That's what they're doing with vehicles. All right. Their cars obviously are not expelling light. Sunlight is not ricocheting off your car. They're demons that are stalking with light. As they move around me, light all over the place. They're demons. That's demonic. That's the demon UFO, getting in his little orange, deep orange BMW on surveillance cameras inside of the 7900. The 7-Eleven under the fake sun and directed light 03923. Hold on, 03923B3 in operation of their communication device in this directed light. 4FIR708 surveillance, sitting in their vehicle monitoring while demons pace around with engineered light. Ooh, you going to federal prison? Have fun in your little bucket. This is the demon engaging in surveillance. Just sitting around, sitting in the car, and here comes more. 8WQS945, 5WRL161, stalking, directed light. 5WRL461, and this is federal prison. License, let's see, crossing path, 7UTK713. All right, that's what group stalking is. It's entirely demonic. License plate 6VUY721, 6303, 9K2, 4WKK819, engaged in surveillance, 8JFC539. License plate 7KDP175, I believe. Let's see. RQA503, SCORLEO. Yeah, 8MJS840. Group stalking over here, the Rama Hair Studio, the Anytime Fitness. The address over here is 7890 Haven Avenue. 279YA. They're a bunch of demons. While those pack of demons, as I'm reciting what they're doing, while they're flashing, molesting me with directed light. And Gate City's demon-possessed employee is inside of the 7-Eleven with their communication device on, talking about, I miss you, I love you, baby, with directed light flashing inside of the store. They're monitoring together. 8GMV311. License plate. 8CIC323, 8RQA503, 92223T1, 7XIP885, BXC096, that's Colorado, 7UTK713, 07062T2, 8ZEN747, 8LVZ075. Group stalking over here at Anytime Fitness. I'll prosecute them as well. A bunch of demons engaged in P.O.C. surveillance in their parking lot. CD 82P36 paper. Pacing 7TGW849. 8UJJ023, 8UJJ023, 8LCW141. This is Minnesota, 317XTU, 7LTE159, 8EZN737, 8F, oh, I read that one. All right, this is demonic pacing. I'm also showing you what's directed light appearing in the shade. License 8YBG505. Yeah, this is Anytime Fitness, Highline Music, Express Employment Professionals. I'm reading the businesses that are inside of this plaza on this sign over here. And I will go ahead and publish an image of that as well. Remember, I'm documenting more than just this address, this plaza. With everybody in relevant positions. The Terra Vista Town Center, Shopping Center, where Panera Bread does not have any sun over it through the windows or anything. It's directly over me, by the way. But when I'm on that side of the street at the Panera Bread, it's directly over my head. That's the same thing in Pomona, California, by the way, at the Pomona Transit Center. 7YAC391. And Staples is group stalking as well, crossing path on Haven Avenue. It is currently 8:59 a.m. And the entity is flying squarely over my head in Ranch Cucamonga, stalking by airplanes. That's the P.O.C. License plate. Impunity. 7WYF242. This is an old white woman with a 70s hairstyle. She's a group stalker. She's stalking with the entity that's flying over me by plane. She's going to federal prison. 5STW478. That's called impunity. 7DKL247. P726A. 35340G1, 7HXC809. License MBNSBIZ, 8HPG430, 8MIT175. 7DKL247, 5STW478, because I didn't know. License plate. One demon after another, 6NQN928. This is demonic pacing. 77879X2 with directed light. That's impunity. (95761K3). 8EBN148. YAYACNY. All of these third parties are going to be prosecuted for that same level of impunity. Understand the same obsessive stalking is underway. 9AUH697. That's why fake sun's remaining over me as I'm walking through the parking lot and demons are pacing around me with directed light. 6L45361. Following me to the back is 8VPZ164. 8GBL104. 7LMF 787, 8VRK 553, 7MML 020, 7TWC 597, 5WRL 461, 7AXK 089, 60341R2, 7FBB 994, 8DYN 089, 6GVE 778, 7ELL 864, 7RMR 552, 8SDA 388, 8AQS 544, 9ACC 867, LTN 5726, which is an out-of-state license plate, 7CML 091, 5XBP 148, 5XBP 148, yeah, that's all. 6RDE 355, 8TGJ 571, 8VVP 651, 'Looking at ABC Pharmacy, the Del Taco, the address 7968 Haven Avenue. License 7MBX087. They're monitoring while demons are surrounding with directed light and the fake signs over my head at 7-Eleven and Gate City. And they're talking about, oh, baby, I love you, and directed light inside of the 7-Eleven. Stalking. Okay. 7C87653 is a relevant position monitoring as well. ITSAFK8. That's a demon stalking with audible activity. That's deliberate under a fake sun and indirected light. And that's how you know what all of them are doing. 6269982. And while that demon with that license, 6269982, opens the door of that dusty white van, directed light is across the asphalt. The same objective, activity creation around pacing, 8NJD953. Monitoring with this other demon who's opening their door, and directed light swipes across the asphalt. That's what that demon of the Chino Police Department, Murillo, engaged in on video at 5:48 p.m. in Chino, California, under the fake sun. Light moving in the shade across the asphalt while they're opening and closing their door. That's impossible light activity. These are demons that are monitoring. All right, license 8PTH991. That's impunity. License 7MBX087, 8ZBA195, and 8POA4561. I want to make sure I get that. Yeah, and that's coming from ABC Pharmacy. They're all monitoring. That's why I read their license plates as well. This is P.O.C. He starts his ignition as I begin walking. He's sitting in his car engaged in surveillance, waiting to stalk with audible activity creation. Del Taco and all the rest of these minions over here, these venues are monitoring. The entity is flying over me by plane. 8PLT546, 8PUG925. Aureus Medical Group is monitoring while that demon is crossing paths with directed light on the building of Aureus Medical Group. 01003V2, 7TLZ156, 6HGA736, 8CBD718. 8TJK210 is monitoring as well. That's why directed light is across the building. This is a demon that's part of the same system, and I also have directed light on the asphalt while they cross paths. Sitting in their truck engaging in surveillance while all this activity is underway. He's a demon monitoring as well. License plate 47748T1. It's Caucasian male sitting in a blue pickup truck over here, while this minion coming out of ABC Pharmacy is opening up and closing their door, and directed lights moving all across the asphalt. That's called surveillance. Go to federal prison for that. License 8CBD718-50139L3. Somebody retired from the Army is a demon and they're engaged in criminal conduct, which I'm going to prosecute them for. 6UQF027. 7GJD377. 7XPF407. 6ELK418. 100ZH handicap. P679EO. 5F29664. 6Z56195, 8ZWN622, 5PVN239, 7SHF480, 7KXG460, 6AQV795, 8JHY546, 7XDF162, 5NQY993, 7YFW162, 8XHBO93, 7WMY633, 81398R2, 6SYR314, 9AGK387, 6WIM517, 8EBL458. Mountain Church at 7986 Haven Avenue. Let me show you the fake sun. I'm not even going to say anything else. I've already showed you the P.O.C. This is demonic conduct, criminal activity outside of the doors of a church. Alrighty, in this day and age, you're understanding what is the truth as you are made aware of it. And this is how you know them. You know them by their deeds, and minions calling themselves Christians or whatever religion that they want to assert. In direct light, first of all, they're criminals. And second of all, they're demons. These are minions of Satan. Minions engage in what is congregating as well, calling themselves whatever they want to state they believe, but they're lying to you and themselves. Okay? 8RMM145, 8NOC926. 7FMX644. You got heavy duty demonic activity underway over here on the grounds of Mountain Church at 7986 Haven Avenue. 7ZZT423, 7UDG376, 8UME900. Engaged in surveillance sitting in a parking lot. 6YRT752. This is activity creation. Guess what? This demon is moving their vehicle and touching with directed light outside of Mountain View Church. License plate. A sex offender, 7JCA070. Okay, that federal prosecution is going to include the same venue, which includes Mountain View Church. There is no legal excuse, and there certainly is no exception, which you are learning about what is demonic activity. 4TYR623. License plate 7DFY 330, and that's a sex offender touching me with this demon that's sitting in a parking lot waiting to touch me. That's predatory. That's predatory conduct. Okay, I'm waiting to touch her person while she's walking in this direction. I'm going to sit in my car. That's surveillance in the specific environment on behalf of the state. That's federal prison. You're doing so on behalf of the state and doing so with the intent to touch and molest with directed light, which is also terrorism, outside of the doors of a fake church. License plate 7YDV294. That's impunity. License 6TCX161, 8TWG649, 8XXX257, 8STAR-LAURA. 3WNK657. Just Auto Insurance has a vehicle license 8JDW001, BS18B37 paper, 8GFX345, and 8KBR559, 7LDK199, 6TCG482, 5TDT383, 7MJR953, 7ABU465. 7BMR996. Nine ATA 907. Eight AJN 917. 8KVK483. 7JNZ250. 8AMB915. 8XSX867. 8UER703. 8BCR 995, 8ZUX 321. Alrighty, and you will see what is the state surveillance and terrorism system that I remain subject to as I walk around to the back portion to read more license plates. You see that fake sun remaining directly over my head. In fact, it's directly over the back part of this fake church now, which you can see the address, 8002. You can see it clearly over the building. While I'm standing in front, it's over the tree over my head while I'm in the parking lot. These are indeed demons engaging in what is criminal conduct, which demonic activity is going to be criminalized now, all right? Because you're monitoring. 8XXU703, that's why fake sun's remaining over me. 6ZRU263. Right over your venue from which you have no form. I'm glad you work there. That's fine. It's a means of what is documentation for presence. 7PKD016. Presence that is criminal. All right. That's what group stalking is about. Maintaining presence, following you around as an entity, which you're not supposed to be able to suspect or even successfully allege because you're supposed to be some paranoid schizophrenic. That's not going to work. And I'm going to prosecute you for that malicious system that you're engaging in. And these are also demons, revealing what is their condition. All right. This is an entity that's engaging in what is criminal conduct. And that's why an environment is around you. You have no legal argument in federal court. You can go ahead and submit it if you want. Get your day in court. You don't have any legal argument. The specific environment is a direct indication of what you are subject to, what you are currently subject to while that environment is following you around for that criminal purpose. That's why. Alrighty, in it, the entity is also engaging in what is where a minion is following you, stalking with directed light, touching you with directed light. That's equally indicative of a system that you're subject to because directed light is an impossible occurrence. It's not just a psychopath that just wants to engage in willy-nilly molestation with directed light. They're monitoring you. Criminal monitoring is a violation of existing federal law, by the way, in case you did not know that. Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. Monitoring with communication devices, monitoring on the venue of the internet, criminal surveillance of another person, doing so as an entity. This is the state that is engaging in. This is the state's pattern of conduct. That's why the government is following me as I've documented with planes and helicopters, demon-possessed law enforcement agencies who also seek to obstruct justice. The people of the state, as I'm documenting them, are engaging in that system. And that is what is criminal. And it is directly indicated. It is shown through the environment that these demons are in. 7UNM721, criminal surveillance, 6BSS687, 7FZT886, 7TLX456, Frontier Communications 53292B2. And it is currently 9:18 a.m. It's Wednesday, June 29, 2022. This is P.O.C. CEASELESS 679 LAWMA 15 5ZKL 705 7JNW 631 BW65D48 paper, 7WIW052, Staples Crossing Path again. They're doing so now on Foothill Boulevard. 06978Y2, 8HPU343, 4VHG671, 7ZGL781, 8RTH190, 20072K3, 5YGH261, 7TLN771, 8CFH383. I don't want you to mistake what is the fake sign over this venue where I'm reading these license plates. So let me show you that. Alrighty, 9BEN970. And what you also see in those images while the fake sign is over the building that I'm currently standing in front of now. Moving as I move, you'll see Altadena. They're in relevant position. That's the use of a company vehicle. You can see it in the images where I'm showing you my surroundings at Foothill and Haven, at what is the across from the Panera Bread. This is the Rancho Cucamonga Dental Care, Dentistry offices, the Virginia Dare Winery. This is where the fake sign is directly over this venue. 6MGD814, 7HSH370, 7LWS050, 7PEH078, 4XRC797, again, over the one, 8LAS807, 6HOE067, 8XPB752, 7LYW466, 8KNZ653, 8LXL837, let's see, 8BP27185, 8AYU441, 7TLN322, 7RMA265, 8RGV042, 9BCE511, Aramark Corporation crossing path. 8 DYB 703. Criminal surveillance, 8 FTV 172. 5 SVN 168. And they're all engaged in surveillance. Understand what group stalking is. It's surveillance in concert with an entity that's placing you under surveillance. Whether you live there, you're engaged in surveillance. It's called presence. That's what group stalking is. And so group stalking is a matter of public corruption. And so you are, in other words, in a specific environment, what you're not aware of, you're unaware of the fact that people are maintaining surveillance. People that whom you know and do not know are placing you under surveillance that is maintaining presence on behalf of the state. Group stalking, vicarious presence, where they live, where they work, wherever it is they're going, maintaining presence all around you. It's a state system. And that is what is surveillance. While you're sitting in your car, though, in the parking lot, maintaining presence around me, while a fake sun's over my head and I'm looking at direct light all over the place, you're engaged in surveillance. You are also engaged in surveillance while I'm at any venue where you're at. This is the ability to prosecute the people of the state who are engaging in group stalking with the state. 6ZZX334, so I just want to make sure you understand that. 5JUW612, engaged in surveillance in the parking lot. CR174, handicap. 4UDB915. P.O.C. The Rancho Cucamonga Chamber of Commerce. Okay, a state facilitating venue. Criminal surveillance. Demonic activity. Bunch of minions engaged in what is criminal surveillance and supposedly engaged in the business of the people. The people are criminals engaged in state surveillance, and that's what the Chamber of Commerce is engaged in relevant position. 7BTL348, 8EHD084, 7GSY151. And again, I'm at Haven Avenue and Foothill Boulevard. License CD25D49 paper, 7CRM673, 7HGT640, 6ZHG762, W232VO, 8DDK721, 6ATH746, 6HMB970, 7KOF441, 345LZ handicap, 7PA8062, 8PDR294, 06183L3, 92706P2, 169L97 Nevada, 7LZK249, 7NXH189, 8VNT889, 8ZKN456, 8TMT593, 1312767, City of Rancho Cucamonga. License SAGWAL. License 2844882, 8VN, I think I read that one. 8USZ014, 8WKL070, 57A5CSA, 5L66056, I believe. Can't really see that one. And where I'm at the, I'm looking at the Barton Plaza. This is a building at the intersection of Foothill and Haven. I'm looking at the Rancho Cucamonga Town Square, the Terra Vista Shopping Center. Over here, the Foothill Dermatology Medical Center. That's where the Virginia Dare Winery, / Rancho Cucamonga Chamber of Commerce is located, where I just read those license plates. Criminals, demons, monitoring. I've been at this location you're talking about right now, which is 9:26 a.m. The entity keeping a fake sun over me as I have come to go toward the Fontana Lewis Library, for example, getting on Route 66 and doing so in the middle of the afternoon. And what did the entity do with the light source? This is already documented. I'm just reminding you about what I've already captured, and this is the unmistakable evidence of what is demon possession by even those sitting inside of a Rancho Cucamonga Chamber of Commerce. There is no exception, people. 6EJX491. They're sitting in that parking lot engaging in surveillance while they know I'm documenting those minions at that venue, where the sun is not possibly present during any time of the year, now at 9 o'clock in the morning, and also remaining present. Obviously, it's not, because where I've been everywhere else but this location, the entity's keeping a fake sun directly over me. And the sun is also not going to be at the same location, maintaining stationary presence, by the way. That's Omnitrans, bus number 1267, Route 81, Stalking. Later at 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which is what I've already documented. That's impossible. 7WEW463, and it's already published. 6WIE155, this is demonic pacing. 7WJH506, and that's how you know them. That's how you know what demons are doing. SKOOZ. That's how you know they're demons, and that's how you know what they are doing. They're pacing, surrounding you, stalking. You also know that when directed light is touching all over you and all around you. And then when you become aware of the fact that that which is not possibly the sun is entirely abnormal, disconcerting, i.e. terrorizing, while a sun is remaining over the top of your head all day long. That's also how you know they're demons, and that they're also pacing all around you. You're the focus, the center of the universe, which is terrorizing itself. It is currently 9:28 a.m. This is P.O.C. I did cross the street. I'm at Panera Bread. The fake sun is no longer over the Chamber of Commerce building. It's directly over me at the Panera Bread. And obviously, it's nowhere near the parking lot inside of the Haven Center where I remained days ago, documenting license plates outside of the court, capturing video at 9:42 a.m., 10:29 a.m. The entity's fake sun remains over me, and that's the significance of documenting a venue where you need to understand the same exact demonic system is underway. 8 p.m. 649, and that's why the light source is over me here. And for example, not in Fontana, not at Ontario, not over the side of the Ovid Family Community Library, not over the Veterans Monument area outside of the Upland Public Library, not over the Route 61 bus en route to Fontana, not over the 83 bus en route to Chino, not over the Chino Transit Center. All right, the entity's light source is directly over me while I'm arriving at Panera Bread. This is P.O.C. This is a minion pacing in front of the entrance doors. I've already shown you the directed light inside of Panera Bread. This is P.O.C. S.I.I.S is crossing path, monitoring with him. He's also a sex offender, monitoring in the bathroom, engaged in bathroom monitoring with the company Panera Bread. All of these demon-possessed employees are monitoring as well. And also, as S.I.I.S is demonstrating, crossing path, pacing all around with an entity that is violating your privacy inside of the private space, which is what Panera Bread is engaged in right now. Under the fake sun and indirected light, this is P.O.C. All right, this third party who you see in still images pacing in directed light with the laptop open and operation of a communication device, that is a cell phone. The computer is a communication device as well. This is monitoring, and the entity is indeed, this is, as I recited, for example, S.I.I.S crossing path in perfect alignment where I'm seated. The fake sun is over Panera Bread, directed light inside of Panera Bread, impossible light activity. Panera Bread is also molesting, and specifically I want to let you know what Panera Bread is doing. Molesting my breasts with flashing directed light while I am sitting inside of the restaurant, which is an impossible occurrence with light. Okay, and this is also the pattern. You got a bunch of demons that work for the company Panera Bread, and they're into what are monitoring American citizens and sexually violating them while you're sitting in their restaurants, and doing so with knowledge of the fact that their demonic activity is being documented. So I want to make sure I document that, and I'm showing you all the demons that are sitting around in direct light under the fake sun. These are a bunch of psychopaths, a bunch of demons who are stalking and monitoring you and looking the opposite direction. All right, this is demonic activity. So this is at the Panera Bread in Rancho Cucamonga on Haven Avenue. The Terra Vista Town Center is monitoring because you have what are demons in the parking lot that are driving at the turn circle around the Allstate, the Target, the Panera Bread where I'm at. And this is the same time that direct light is touching on my breast while I'm sitting inside of the Panera Bread. All right, so I want to be clear. That is the exact touching that you're going to prosecute by a bunch of demons, and directed light is a fact. You've already seen, I don't have to make up any information, and so you've also seen directed light on the bus. This is what they're doing while I'm sitting inside of the Panera Bread company. All right, this is a company that is going to be prosecuted civilly and criminally, and I'm documenting what is sexual violence that I'm subject to by the company, while they are also facilitating sexual violence and terrorism with the demons who are sitting inside of the venue of Panera Bread, where Panera Bread welcomes this environment, welcomes this criminal activity on behalf of the state. I want to be clear, Panera Bread also represents the state that is keeping me under surveillance. It is currently 9:54 a.m. and what I was stating is the third party whose image I have captured, all of them close-ups, these are sex offenders. All right, they're engaging in a sex offense, and the psychopath is sexually violating them while they're looking the opposite direction, like they're deep into a conversation or something. That's Satan, okay? This is P.O.C. It is currently 9:55 a.m. Panera Bread engages in this with children. While children are present in the environment, engaging in it with the people of the state, a bunch of demons that include children in that P.O.C. And I want to make sure I document that. You'll see those in still images while they're part of the same surveillance system, terrorism and sexually violating another while you are sitting around, for example, with your kids. All right? That's psychopath conduct. That's the demon-possessed population. All right, and that's what you are targeting. That's what you're prosecuting. That level of sickness and malice by an entity. It is currently, again, 9:55 a.m. This is P.O.C. 8L91550, repeatedly molesting my breasts with directed light. This is terrorism and sexual violence and harassment by a demon that knows exactly where I'm at, a stalker that represents the state of California, and that is grounds of federal prison, while they're also posing an impermissible threat. And this is a demon that's outside in a pickup truck, and I am being accosted with what is directed light while sitting inside of Panera Bread. Okay, this is an entity that's listening to you document while then they continuously engage in that sexual violence, and this is occurring right now. At 9:57 a.m. UPS is crossing path as well, 75761B2, part of the same sex offense, crossing path and monitoring with the state, P.O.C. 7UEA 577, the same molesting. 4SUL 512. And by the way, what I'm reciting, this is how you are witnessing what is the system of public corruption. You got these demons, these psychopaths that are sitting around stalking inside of Panera Bread, which is what you're doing under the fake sun. And that's why I'm reciting to you what is directed light while I'm sitting inside of the Panera Bread. And so while I'm under the fake sun, for example, at the Ontario Police Department yesterday at 10:29 at 9:42 a.m., you have the light source over me in Panera Bread in Rancho Cucamonga. And the entity is keeping the light source over me as I remain in here. And this is how you're witnessing. When I'm capturing this video at 10:29, that is a demon in the parking lot at 10:29 a.m. These demons that are accosting you with light and then stalking in a bathroom, whatever bathroom you're going to, it's the same entity that knows where you're at, stalking you, touching you with direct light, terrorizing you, and then they walk into bathrooms continuously stalking. That's why they're also going to be prosecuted as sex offenders. But I want to be clear, that hostility that I documented on video, that's an animal that engages in accosting, harassing, and terrorizing with directed light, and then you're seeing the personality of Satan while you get close-up images of them, because I'm going to expose you and prosecute you, because that's what you witness. That sex offender, that demon that is engaging in what is violating me while I'm sitting inside of a Panera Bread, is then enraged in that video that you're witnessing while she is stalking me. She represents the people of the state. The same demon possession. What did you see on the ground in the shade beside those vehicles, beside her car? Impossible light activity. The entity's iteration of that same exact stalking with directed light is flashing, touching, filling venues all around me and touching all over my body with directed light while they're sitting all around inside of a restaurant in a cartoon environment. Psychopaths that are stalking you. I just want to make sure you're clear on that. This is the system of group stalking. These are the sickos that are. And I want to be clear, that's what Panera Bread is. That's what Panera Bread is about. That's what Panera Bread is doing. And that's what Panera Bread facilitates and welcomes. Because that's why it's happening. All right? It is currently 10 a.m. on the dot. P.O.C. Alrighty. I'm showing you what is the light source that's directly over my head as I'm walking out of the entrance. And again, getting up, Panera Bread molesting with through, I mean, understand the terrorism that Panera Bread is engaging in. So while you're subject to monitoring, and that's a communication of a threat that the entity is continuously monitoring while it's also monitoring your documentation. And so as I get up out of my seat, ongoing flashing light. It's like you're in a photo shoot, right? But you're not. Nobody's standing around you with flashing cameras, and you're looking at your shadow appearing on the wall in front of you. This is terrorism, and that is outright demonic harassment. Demonic level harassment, while Panera Bread, which I'm going to prosecute Panera Bread for, because that's where it's happening. License plate is a sex offender, 6RMW355. 8L48672 is engaged in surveillance in the parking lot while I'm subject to that accosting and molestation with directed light. License 61367X1. And you just have, while the venue of Panera Bread is surrounded by windows, so you'll have them pacing around in front of the, in alignment with me. That's what group stalking is, maintaining alignment, crossing path, pacing all around you. And so as they are driving around in the parking lot, they're touching with directed light at the same time. This is what they're doing on the buses. You're looking at directed light on the Omnitrans buses. They're doing it inside of Panera Bread. All right, 7GJG968, 8NQW499. 6VBV214. These are demons who are pacing. This is the exact same molestation. So let me read these demons' license plates. They're going to be prosecuted as sex offenders. That's what group stalking is. 8XSB326. And Panera Bread's going to be prosecuted for the criminal conduct of the people of the state. Panera Bread is the people, represents the people of the state. 29485F3. Directed light all across these vehicles whose license plate I'm about to read to you right now. 8SPS805. License 7WWD609. License 7GJG968, 8JSX668, This demon sitting in the car where direct light moves across and placing me under surveillance, engaged in surveillance while my breasts and my body is being molested with directed light. A sex offender, 7SHN 907, engaging in criminal surveillance. They're sitting in their car, stalking in a parking lot under a fake sun, molesting somebody, engaging in demonic conduct. License 8KMS 168. Target is engaged in. This is the Terra Vista Town Center. 8YAG 014, 8UQA 058, 8JSX 668, ED 944, handicap. Alrighty, BRU 7477, Washington, engaged in surveillance while that ongoing molestation, fake sun, demonic pacing. 7UUV 363, 8ROF 675, 8SXL 458, and let me be clear, the Rancho Cucamonga Chamber of Commerce is monitoring, okay? License G120101X. Monitoring, engaged in that same sex offense. This is surveillance. 8KMS 168 has been engaged in surveillance, just sitting in the parking lot, group stalking. 5FHW 5FWA 498. That's the correct license. 8CHN 470. OMAHA 5, 6KWZ 459, 7VXL 873, 7WWD 609, 7VXL 873, 8TGJ 320, 5DLX 175, 8HBJ 064, 8PGL 475, 9AVG 937, 7TQR 684, 8AWH 128, 8D53916, 8PUP 796, 88. I think I read that one. 8AWH128, yeah. License 65097C3. And you just have tons of vehicles that are moving around in the parking lot and directed light all over the asphalt while these demons are pacing all around this demonic activity. And also, you clearly understand what is not possibly the sun, not only not above the Open Family Community Library, where the Ontario police are stalking by helicopter at 9:42 in the morning, where I vividly illustrated that to you again yesterday at the Ontario Police Department, where the fake sun is directly over my head and where it remains, because I captured another video at 10:28 a.m. as I remained there after 11 o'clock, by the way, at that parking lot, at that location, 2500 South Archibald. While I am here, that is the direct evidence of what is demonic activity while these demons are stalking with direct light. They are under what is the fake sun that is nowhere near the Ontario Police Department. It's not occurring at the same time. It's not over the entrance of the Panera Bread as I walk outside of it. That's impossible to occur. These are demons, AERT012, and those are the demons of the Ontario Police Department as I documented them at their headquarters. That's going to be shut down. 8TIZ489. This is the demonic system that they're engaged in and facilitating. 8JSX 668. All right, and this is impunity that I'm documenting. So you're talking about what is prosecution necessary as a matter of justice, enforcing the human rights against psychopaths that are targeting at this level. You're talking about what is a prosecution resulting in what is restraint in mental institutions, okay, in federal prison. And that's what literally why I'm reading their license plates, because that's where they're going to go. That's where they're going to go, in federal prison. Alrighty, and the direct evidence of it is that is not the sun that's over the Ontario Police Department at the same time, where it remains. It's not over the Open Family Community Library also, by the way, because that's what I was comparing it to. It's clearly not over the roof of the Upland Public Library at 10:29 in the morning. And that's not sunlight that's bouncing across buildings, on walls, through the building of Panera Bread while I'm sitting inside of the restaurant. No, it's not. It's called terrorism. All right, and they engage in terrorism while they know you're documenting it. Oh yeah, you belong in a mental institution. That's where you're going. 6VBV214. While you want to stalk someone and place them in under surveillance, and you want to molest their person, you want to do it more so while you also know that you're being documented. You belong in a mental institution. Those are psychopaths and sexually violent, predatory psychopaths, threatening your life, stalking you with the police, who like to do so with demon-possessed officers and helicopters. 8CXP 566 22760E3. That's why I'm reading your license plates, because that's where they're going. They're going to sit in federal prison. They're going to be restrained in mental institutions. And this is how you are addressing what is a system of targeting that American citizens have a right to not be subject to by psychopaths. License 9ACH746. They pursue you. They hunt you. They violate you. There are psychopaths that are stalking you while looking at a newspaper. That's what Satan does. As though that, and I like to show you that because you need to understand these minions are stalkers. Super stalkers, focused on you, and they thought, okay, while you are looking like you're doing something else or purchasing something at the same venue, that's going to be the legal argument, the legal basis of what group stalking is premised upon and prosecuted as, and it's not at all. You're witnessing what's malice while you stare at a newspaper and an American citizen is being molested and accosted with direct light. And you're going to sit in federal prison for that. You're going to sit in a mental institution, especially while they're monitoring Panera Bread with law enforcement who's group stalking at Haven and Foothill. Okay? Very easy to document. I read a ton of license plates at the Foothill Dermatology Center, the Rancho Cucamonga Chamber of Commerce, all around outside of the 7-Eleven, all those businesses that will sit in federal prison while they're group stalking with the police. Who want to seek to threaten you, they'll go to federal prison, and third parties who I already have documented. I have a pool of defendants, and you're going to serve the penalty. All right, so I just want to document that. The entity is stalking with law enforcement. You are group stalking. You're stalking me. The sun's not over the Ontario airport, and it's clearly not over the it's not over the Rancho Cucamonga courthouse. It's not over me anywhere in Chino, California. It's directly over me at Panera Bread, okay? But not only that, that's speaking to what is an intent to threat. You're threatening the wrong one because you're going to go to federal prison for that. And 8 WDS 221 federal prison. These black-faced minions group stalking with law enforcement, their license plate in operation of a communication device under the fake sun, 8 NUC 636, that's federal prison. While the entity tries to threaten you, stalking with police at the same intersection under the fake sun and direct light. Federal prison, 6MQT 328. And these are demons who are pacing and they're still stalking right now. That's also why you're going to federal prison. 2961PH. I don't care how old this demon is with some purple heart on their license plate. This old minion is stalking. All right, and it's a demon-possessed one monitoring with the police. License 8NWM882, federal prison. License plate 664ZGW, federal prison. License plate 5NWP435. That's the response to an entity that wants to stalk and terrorize an American citizen with the police. Want to do so with helicopters? Those third parties and that agency is going to be addressed under federal law, and it includes federal prison. License 8JMG650. There is no sun over the Ontario Police Department. It's right here over me at Foothill and Haven, where I've already documented the entity hours from now, the same exact intersection at that same exact position over the top of my head, where the entity is stalking by law enforcement at the intersection of Foothill and Haven, and adding to what is time in federal prison that this third party is going to serve, 8 SLC 185, P.O.C. San Bernardino County crossing path. License plate 8TKU 586, 7UMR 467, 7RUC 149, 7CSF 446, 1604878 is San Bernardino County, group stalking and monitoring with the police. License 1410076, that's Omnitrans, a demon-possessed transit supervisor, group stalking. And Omnitrans is also group stalking using its buses. License plate 7WLN574, 7XMW798, 8FLS059, RPM Heart YVM. Six CAT074, 7PCJ826, 8FLG422, 7TRZ280, 5LHV265, 7EKL456, 9BIH784, T4RSTAT, 4FBY703, 9BLB550, I believe. That might not be all the way accurate. I can't see that one that clearly. They're all going to federal prison. That's the entity stalking by helicopter. And doing so under the fake sun, which is nowhere near the Ontario Police Department. It's 10:16 a.m. Just want you to take a good look. Take a good listen. License 6TLJ830. This is Barton Plaza where I'm reading license plates. This is federal prison. 7TXV312, 8SXW315, 7CLB603, 8JOJ548, 8YKF341. And this is indeed the molestation with direct light. Where's the entity stalking with a fake sun? Where's the entity stalking by helicopter? Where the demon-possessed people of the state are stalking with directed light, molesting me while I'm inside of Panera Bread, and I'll prosecute Panera Bread. This is evidence against Panera Bread while the entity is indeed stalking by helicopter. 6YZP367. Understand how the pattern of conduct works together. 7AYD216, 8XLV186, RL1, RANA. 41644G3, 6YZP367, C8PXJ040, 8FPJ279, 8YZK336, JAGN14, 7PDC083, 8WFY584, I'm reading license plates of third parties that are subject to federal prison for engaging in stalking and monitoring, engaging in terrorism while the entity flies over your head by helicopter, and they're an entity that is molesting, touching my breast with directed light while I'm sitting inside of a restaurant. This is terrorism from place to place, and I'm reading license plates. As you hear that helicopter, that's the evidence for which is resulting in federal prison. 7YFE930 with a minor, oh no. It looks like a minor child. It's a hefty one though. Anyway, 7YFE930, 8RXH194. It's P.O.C. Omnitrans is crossing path as well. 7SOP300, 8VAD409. And again, law enforcement engaging in this, the Rancho Cucamonga Police is the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, because I'm in the city of Rancho Cucamonga and flying directly over my head. That's Omnitrans Bus 1216, Route 66 crossing path. That's the entity flying directly over my head by helicopter. All right, and they're following, because as I'm walking on the sidewalk, that's where you can hear the helicopter activity. I walk through right now, I read these license plates, turning around and flying directly over my head again. This is the Barton Plaza. That's called crossing path. They're engaged in surveillance. I read their license plates, so they're moving their vehicle crossing path. They're going to federal prison. BYORSEL. No, BYORSEL. Let me see that. Be yourself is probably what it is. They are being themselves. They're demons. BYORSEL. The significance of being under what is the fake sun directly over my head. Moving in direct. Let me show you. This is a demon. This is impossible light activity. This is the directed light appearing in the shade. Shadow on my side. That's impossible. Fake sun over my head. Okay. Entity is stalking. Hold on. Let me zoom out so you can see. Fake sun over my head. Directed light on the ground in the shade. They're pacing in their vehicle. Moving around in the parking lot, stalking while the entity is flying over your head by helicopter, looking perplexed while they're monitoring. That's the P.O.C. in operation. Lopez is the name on that phone. This is a black-faced minion engaging in criminal. She's going to federal prison. You see that ring on her hand? That's a demon. Ain't nothing impressive about that. BYORSEL is a demon, and she's going to federal prison while I captured in the same video in directed light under the fake sun, the entity stalking by helicopter. That's P.O.C. P.O.C. And I'm reading the rest of these license plates as well. That's why the entity is flashing on my breast, touching me with directed light. That direct light you see in it, that's an impossible occurrence. It's in a natural environment. She's deliberately using her vehicle, pacing around. That's a demon. Under what is the light source? And those are demons flying over by helicopter. She's going to federal prison. Every license plate that I recited, too. This is P.O.C. What do you think the Ontario Police Department are doing? The Fontana Police Department, documents stalking by helicopter. The Chino Police Department engaged in criminal summoning, stalking by helicopter. This is the pattern of conduct in that specific environment. Very, very unhelpful to them. The people of the state are going to serve time in federal prison because this is the group stalking system and it's the state's P.O.C. Flying directly over me, this is demonic pacing. Okay, this is P.O.C. There is no sun over the Ontario Police Department, by the way, because this is where I remained yesterday. And while I remain there documenting that, I'm reminding you of what is nowhere near the Ovid Family Community Library. This is Foothill Boulevard. That's P.O.C. The Ovid Family Community Library, guess what's happening? All those names, I recite, they're going to federal prison because this is the system they're engaging in. That is literally the damnation. All right, while they prosecute each other, she's still stalking with light. She's going to sit in federal prison. That's the significance of what she's doing. And she's in operation of her communication device talking to somebody with the last name Lopez. All right, with license BYORSEL. This is impunity. A demon stalking in directed light under the fake sun, representing the people of the state because they're all inside of this building. This is massive surveillance. The Rancho Cucamonga Courthouse still engaging in criminal monitoring, exercising fictitious authority under the law. You're going to shut this courthouse down. All right, while the entity engaged in kidnapping and then referring those cases, which is criminal activity, while placing you under surveillance, you don't have authority under the law. They're engaging in state surveillance, and then they're engaging in what is exercising authority under the law in courtrooms as though they're... No. This is the pattern of conduct of state surveillance and terrorism. And they're engaged in criminal activity now. Demons sitting on the bench of the PD, of the DA's office, they're monitoring. Every clerk, every employee, every third party sitting inside of that court in relevant position right now while the entity is placed in a helicopter flying around me. This is not only criminal, it's demonic. This is P.O.C. This is P.O.C. And I want you to see what has nothing to do with what is race. This is demonic conduct. We are not tied together by race. We are separated by condition. And you know them by their deeds. She's walking in directed light, creating light activity while she's moving around. This demon was pacing, engaged in surveillance in the parking lot. This she drives over here. At the same time, the entity was flying over my Alrighty, capturing video, the fake sun, directed light, and stalking by helicopter. Let me get the rest of these license. This is at Barton Plaza. License 8XLV186RL1RANA, like I read. Let's see, 9AUG8027AXC489. And you'll see on video, the entity is flying in circles over me. I mean, there's no question reasonably about what is stalking when you're capturing helicopters from city to city. But like I stated in that video, you're looking at what is demonic conduct by this African-American female who was group stalking in a parking lot and then hopping out as though she's some sort of professional. This is the reality of what is demonic activity. She's out here monitoring with the state that is terrorizing somebody and then just walks into a venue and goes about the rest of their day. You're going to address that system. You're going to address that system. You need to understand what is a psychopath. This is demonic conduct. All right, so I've surrounded the entity with what is evidence, so you see what public corruption looks like. But the ordinary target individual subject to such conduct is written off as being some sort of Looney Tune because they don't have evidence. And then who are you reporting it to? The corrupt entity itself. The demons fill the hospitals, the demons fill the jails, the demons fill the court, who, by the way, is monitoring while the entity is pacing over my head in helicopter, under a fake sun and in directed light. Okay, that court is in relevant position, they're monitoring. It is the direct evidence of what is that corrupt entity. Like I said, the Chamber of Commerce is over here as well. I'm just speaking to what is, it's not different when I'm on a residential street. It's not different when I'm in the parking lot surrounded by the courthouse, who supports to have authority under the law. I'm showing you the P.O.C. that they're engaged in. You don't have authority under the law. They know exactly who you are while they are engaging in this corrupt system. The police are kidnapping you. The sheriff's department are kidnapping you. They're defaming you. And then they're engaging in what is the exercise of fictitious authority under the laws that they're abusing while the pattern of conduct remains underway in the courts. Those are demons that fill the courts. This is the P.O.C. This very same court, as I've documented, the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, which, by the way, the sun is not over that venue. It's not over that parking lot. Contrary to what I'm showing you in still images while I remain over there, 9:42 a.m. That's the P.O.C. All right, while you're looking at a helicopter fly over my head, these are demons pacing in this parking lot right here. This white-faced minion, this is impunity. She's going to federal prison. All right, license, driving her SUV, a demon with directed light, pacing with another one that's driving in alignment with her. They're pacing around me, 8YAG014. That's P.O.C. And the entity is, in this video, what I captured, the entity is flying in circles over my head. That's what the demons of the Ontario Police Department engage in. Like I said, it is a superficial distinction, as I've shown you what is a pattern of conduct from venue to venue. So you understand, looking at a macro level, a state's pattern of conduct, showing you from city to city, the same exact conduct. All right, so showing you what is terrorism, stalking. They're stalking, yeah. And they're not just stalking, meaning it's not just criminal, it's demonic. JAGEN 14. And the entity is doing so in that specific environment. And so that's the significance of video that I captured, which if you haven't noticed, I've been including my videos in my podcast. So if you are, for example, looking at the YouTube channel, the pattern of conduct, the pattern of conduct, or my website, thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com, which is the totality of my documentation. It includes my podcast, it includes all the still images that I capture, and also all video documentation. So the entity is placing this light source over me while I am in the parking lot of after having exited the Panera Bread. I remained at the Ontario Police Department yesterday. The entity engages in this pattern, which is ongoing corroboration of what I just documented inside of the Panera Bread. That's exactly what they're doing. This is the exact system that they're engaging in, and I'm going to prosecute them with the evidence of the state's pattern of conduct that they're engaging in. Necessarily so. That is speaking to what is impunity. So while you are understanding what is going to be the grounds of punishment for this criminal system, for this terrorism, you're going to look at what is that level of impunity while the state then flies over an American citizen's head by helicopter in the city of Rancho Cucamonga. Okay? Where, by the way, there is no sun over the Ontario airport. It is impossible. All right, maintaining a zenith over my head. That's what you see in the video. It's also not over the Ovid Family Community Library, where that entity engaged in kidnapping me. Not just kidnapping, they made up allegations because you're talking about what is placing me under surveillance, hostility to documentation, and then making up, it's not just a crime to make it up, it's also defamatory. It's serving a specific pattern, okay? Defamatory and false allegations while you are engaged in surveillance. And like I said before, even if I stole a candy bar, all right, which would not be, say I actually did put a candy bar in my pocket and I stole it, and somebody is making an allegation to law enforcement who are keeping you under surveillance. This is the fallacy of the system that's in operation. They know that you stole the candy bar. It's called criminal summoning. The police are already engaging in criminal surveillance. They still do not have authority under the law. They are engaged in criminal surveillance, stalking by helicopters, engaging in what is that specific environment, which is terrorism. Understand how you're going to prosecute. This is how you are surfacing what is this criminal system that's in operation, because this is what's going on. They don't have probable cause or reasonable suspicion. People aren't reporting crimes as though law enforcement is ignorant. While you're looking at what is from city to city, county to county, because Los Angeles did the same thing. I go to LA County, guess what's going on? Every day I go, stalking by helicopters. And guess what's going on in LA County? Somehow, the sun is directly over my head. I mean, even en route to Los Angeles. This is documented in 2020. Taking, guess what? Third-party facilitating venue Metrolink. Over me on the train, directed light, touching all over my thighs, all over my stomach, all over my breast with directed light. Monitoring with the law enforcement stalking by helicopter, 4XGD 503. She's pacing around in a parking lot. That's federal prison. Okay? So the entity, and so is Omnitrans. They're loitering in relevant position. Bus 1279. So the entity is engaging in this pattern of conduct and doing so in a specific environment. Bus 1279 is the method of pacing. While they're driving in this parking lot from Realty One Group over there, I'll go read their license plates as well. They're engaging in what is demonic pacing. This is what they're doing inside of the library, where I'm showing you multiple shadows, inside of the Ovid Family Community Library, inside of Upland, where the entity keeps the light source over that roof and directed light on the ground as though sunlight is being aimed all day long because the sun is remaining over the roof all day long. 47705 M1, those are demons that are pacing around. That's what they're doing in the parking lot, pacing around. Demonic pacing, which is terrorism, okay? There are a bunch of psychopaths who are literally walking around in circles. Understand, like, if you can imagine in your mind, literally what Satan is doing. It's doing it amongst a group, but what Satan is doing is literally imagine somebody just walking in circles around you. You're standing still and they're just walking in circles around you over and over and over again. And if you're saying, for example, it's even weirder, say you don't know this person. Say maybe you would think somebody that you or your friend or your family member, they're just being silly perhaps, but it gets weird when they keep doing it. It starts to get weird, all right? And then also it's not weird anymore when you're going to add helicopter. Why is a helicopter flying over me and you're walking in circles? What are you doing? This is weird. And then they're calling the police on you while they're constantly walking around in circles around you. And then you've got the weird light activity that's going on that has nothing to do with what is sunlight. Right? That's the pattern of conduct. The entity is doing it amongst a group. Spreading out this demonic system, they're all pacing around you in the environment and then calling the police and all that. I'm referencing what is the malice of an entity as you document it. The psychopath that's pacing around you. Psychopath. Stalking in a helicopter, they're pacing above my head. While they listen to me prosecute them, because while I'm reading license plates and the entity stalking by law enforcement at Haven and Foothill, the entity decided to pull out a helicopter, hop up in the helicopter. Well, they're already stalking by helicopter. They decided to fly over my head by helicopter while they're listening to me prosecute. Guess what that is? More time in federal prison. Because just like I stated that they're stalking, they are indeed stalking. That's why the helicopter is flying over my head. It's ongoing corroboration for a prosecution. 6DAE 562, to the demise of the people of the state. To their demise. All right, the court, these corrupt agencies, they're dealt with. They're dealt with. LACHLOE. It's the state's pattern of conduct. All right, engaging in what is blatant surveillance is that third party. Looks like 47705 M1. Yeah. All right, this is surveillance that this demon is engaging in. This is bald head and a black beard. Dark glasses, 47705 M1. He's driving a white van, engaging in surveillance, parking at the bus stop right here, just keeping the ignition running. I'm capturing the directed light beside this van. This is a demon engaging in what is openly surveilling you. That's an ongoing threat. While after pacing in the parking lot, they're crossing paths repeatedly, driving into the parking lot. They're group stalking. And I'm showing you the fake one that's directly over me. While the entity is also stalking by helicopter. That's the openly criminal conduct of surveillance that the entity engages in. And then you're looking at still images. They begin moving their van. Not only is that flight, it's activity creation. While these demons drive, AVHY098, directed light coexists. That's what they're doing inside of Panera Bread. Panera Bread, you're talking about what are the employees? They will go to federal prison. I have a pool of defendants. And you're talking about third parties who are going to sit in federal prison for what the entity is doing. License 7WLN074 is going to federal prison. All right, that's P.O.C. And again, the Panera Bread is located inside of the Terra Vista Town Center. As you hear that helicopter, that's what Panera Bread is engaged in, state surveillance, a sex offender monitoring while my panties are down, engaging in that conduct on behalf of that state that's flying over by helicopter and not doing so by themselves. Target, inside of the Terra Vista Town Center, that entire shopping plaza, the Barton Plaza, the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court. This is a demon-possessed entity engaging in what is sexual violence while keeping you under surveillance. That's why you're arriving right over my head and flying in circles over me by helicopter, not only at the drop of a dime, but at the utterance of any syllable when I'm speaking to what will be federal prison. Okay, that black-faced minion sitting inside of that vehicle that I captured direct live fake son, stalking with helicopter, as the helicopter flies over my head, so shall she sit in federal prison for it. It's group stalking, XP39687, that's Distribution LLC. The minions inside of Panera Bread, my presence, the time that I'm there, they're engaged in group stalking, they're sex offenders. 8SJY456, that's a male operating a communication device while crossing paths, stalking on behalf of the state who is monitoring with helicopter. You're understanding what's group stalking. Literally, while they're stalking by helicopter, what's the significance of what they're doing? They're surrounding you. 8YOW389, maintaining presence all around you. And 65821Z2, 6UKB726, 7NYP255, 8PFR609, license 1093782, that's a Caucasian female. 8RGB651, I believe. I can't really see that one. 8XAK152, 9ALW295, 8GGH711. License 78096D3, 230HL, handicap, iHeart CKUYA. CC98C55, paper. That's an Asian male, 8VKS474, it's an Asian male. License 6SRL707, 7VQB005, and 25797K2. I'm reading license plates of third parties, identifying them who are going to sit in federal prison for this. 7YXB788. This is terrorism, and you're prosecuting terrorism with federal prison. You're prosecuting it also with what is mental institutions, terrorism, psychopaths, demons who are engaging in this conduct with directed light, while they're also aware of what you're documenting. And then you're going to pull out a helicopter and fly over my head, and I'm going to document, it's not just document, I'm going to prosecute the people of the state who are group stalking with that government. And that's literally what is happening while the sun is not possibly over the Ontario Police Department. Demons engaging in stalking as well. This is the pattern of conduct underway by the Chino Police Department, the Fontana Police Department, the Upland Police Department. I'm in San Bernardino in 2019 after this entity stole my vehicle, and after I initiated my civil suit against the state of California after the state of California evaded service of process. Let me be clear, Thomas Garza is being documented now. This is the system he's engaging in while he's seeking to obstruct justice. The same San Bernardino Sheriff's Department refusing to provide service of process, which is a duty pursuant to the office that they hold, engaging in ongoing repeated acts of kidnapping. This is the same San Bernardino County where they are monitoring right now by helicopter in Rancho Cucamonga. Okay, this is the ongoing pattern of conduct. Like I said, you're talking about state actors and third parties alike sitting in federal prison. License plate DLFOSSE 8MCJ615, 8WPP432, 8XTS376, 73309 K2. Service champions, they're group stalking. 8RAM873, 8XHS907, 8POA502, 6UZA079, 8KJN562, 8DXU815, 8JTC072, 7DYK959, 8EGX788, license 5NCM671, 7WPM633, 8HYL185. These are the same demons. It's the same demon-possessed entity, as you're understanding what is the same pattern of conduct that's molesting my breasts with directed light while they are stalking. That's exactly what you're doing while then the entity is stalking by helicopter in conformity to a body of evidence showing that this is what the entity is doing. This is the P.O.C. of group stalking in the specific environment. License, the sun is not over the Ontario airport. It's not over the, well, yeah, that too. But 7VQH193, the Ontario Police Department. It's also not over the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library, 61367X1, as I am thoroughly prosecuting what is securing time in federal prison, prolonged period. The removal from existence of the Ontario Police Department and the people of the state, Ovid Family Community Library, using that venue as a means of criminal conduct. It doesn't have a right to exist, and I'm prosecuting. 8EFK649, as I make a specific documentation to that end. 9AGU456, the entity's light source is directly over me here in Rancho Cucamonga. And not just in Rancho Cucamonga, it's over me inside of the parking lot of the Barton Plaza. It's not over the Cucamonga courthouse. Where I'm standing at 10:29 a.m. 8 TA F639, where I'm standing at 9:42 a.m. All right, this is the entity, and it's clearly while I'm here and I'm showing you the fake sun over me at 10:16 a.m., the entity stuck in my helicopter, it's nowhere over the parking lot, over the venue of the Ontario Police Department. The demons who are going to sit in federal prison, 37293J2. That's not, I don't think that's correct. You can scratch that. But let me be clear. While I'm prosecuting the Ontario Police, it's not about the City of Ontario and the Police Department of Ontario. This is the state's pattern of conduct. That is evidence against Chino. It's evidence against Fontana, and so on and so forth. This is the state's P.O.C. That's why they have that same exact pattern. I'm prosecuting the state of California. And let me be clear. The people of the state, they're going to federal prison. They're one. That's why the entity stuck in my helicopter, 3TAP619, is going to sit in federal prison for it. 8JLF394, 7XPF407, 14187H1, 32871W2. You are engaged in ongoing obsessive stalking, maintaining presence, group stalking with that government that's engaged in that terrorism. You are a terrorist. 8SPA120, which is what group stalking is, a bunch of demons, a demon-possessed population. 7SXY680, unlawful operation of a communication device, group stalking with the state. License 5TMR599. And so is Omnitrans. That's what I captured in video, and this is what I'm reciting on podcast while they're crossing paths with Route 66. Route 66 is a means of crossing path. They're pacing with the rest of these third parties, while the entity is keeping a helicopter over my head. So let me get some more of these third parties over here. License. FedEx is group stalking. And I think I read all of these license plates over here. FedEx is in the parking lot in operation of a communication device. This is an African-American that's an operation of the communication. I'm observing them right now in the parking lot while the entity is pacing around in helicopter over the courthouse. It is currently, by the way, 10:39 a.m., I believe. No, 10:40 a.m. Let me make sure I got this third-party license plate. Eight FPJ 279. XEZ 911. That's federal prison. It is, again, 10:40 a.m. The light source is directly over me, and the entity is pacing in relevant position, monitoring with these third parties whose license plates I'm reciting. And again, the venues, this is Chili's, the Terra Vista Town Shopping Center, Panera Bread, where I was sitting inside, and the entity is molesting with directed light. This directed light, which is impossible light, occurring in the shade as I'm showing you it on the ground, while that demon, the African-American who you see group stalking in operation of a communication device, pacing around in a vehicle, that's the psychopath conduct she's engaging in while the entity is stalking by helicopter. That directed light is what is touching on my breast inside of Panera Bread. 6YXA127. This is terrorism. That's the terrorism that the entity is engaged inside of the Chino Branch Library, where Tara, this fat-faced minion who had flashing direct light on her face, her furry face, who's engaged in what is harassment while I am minding my business sitting at the computer. Again, 8YUE769, 3KEX166, 87464E2. 7GBR 609. The entity is still stalking by helicopter right now, by the way. And so Tara and Jason, while I'm asking him his name, which I document on my podcast, that is not harassment. It's harassment while he shoves the desk, while he's pushing in a chair, which does not create what is shoving of a desk, because this is what he's shaking the computer while you're merely pushing in a desk. And this is harassment by a demon who knows that he's being documented. And then as I ask him his name, this is a demon that knows that he's being documented. But like I said, on the surface, you have no indication. And why are you so concerned about what I'm doing on my phone while I'm merely in possession of it? And so I'm talking on the phone. Oh, you're assuming that I'm recording you while I'm asking you your name and asking you what time does the library close today. And then you scurry off while you're at a distance. And then you return about 35 minutes later with this fat-faced minion Tara talking about 365 days, don't come back because I asked you your name, and that's harassment? No, it's not. And I can talk about whatever I want on my phone. 8VGN132, it's called freedom of speech. This is the pattern by demons who are stalking by helicopter as I walk outside of that library. 8VRB612, and I'm referencing again the Chino Police Department. These are demons who are terrified, who nonetheless provide ongoing evidence against the people of the state who are not escaping prosecution. Let me tell you something. The prosecution is sure. It is complete. It is showing you what is that concerted activity amongst the state and the people of the state, third parties. All right. And all of the iterations of presence. That's what group stalking is. You're present. And it's not coincidental when you're present under the fake sun. That's the system. It's not coincidental in directed light. That's the system. It's not coincidental when the entity's stalking and harassing, engaging in criminal summoning and stalking in a helicopter. That's the system. You're going to sit in federal prison. 49736D3, 8NGG444, P679EO. And that is why you're talking about what is literally idiotic at this juncture. You know who's gonna sit in federal prison for this video? 7LMS745, AGO6937, 4XXD633, 7GTG645, or you can scratch on, I can't say the one, 8LWV765, all dirt bags. They will sit in federal prison. 9AFG271, 8AJP945, 6TZJ689. License 5LSJ823. The government has no right to place you under surveillance doing it on their own directly, nor doing it vicariously, which is what is group stalking. Not only that, they're terrorists. This is satanic activity. License 49600D3. You're also going to prosecute the attitude as I'm capturing, and you're witnessing what is impunity. More time in federal prison. Necessarily sitting in a mental ward. 6GAA140. BN20W94. American Medical Response, crossing path, 8RWJ808, license plate, 30385M2. This is P.O.C, and that's the significance of capturing that video of what is a pattern of conduct that I've already established. You already know the entity is stalking me by helicopter. Why am I capturing that video? Because the people of the state are going to sit in federal prison. That's why. You don't have any coincidences. This is the system of group stalking. 86139V2. And while you want to engage in group stalking with impunity, I'm going to make sure you sit there even longer in federal prison. An American citizen has a right to not be subject to it, and a bunch of demons engaging in what is bullying you, essentially, because that's what group stalking is, a bunch of demons, inferior to you. They're a bunch of demons. You're not of that condition. That's why they're targeting you. And they're going to sit in federal prison for that. License 8RFX362, 8KZH658, doing it on behalf of an entity that is helping to the end result. While the entity is stalking me by helicopter, let me tell you something. The state is giving me evidence for which third parties are going to sit in federal prison, for which businesses such as Panera Bread will not exist anymore. 8SF8072. License SPARKYP. License 7ZZU035, 7LHV338. 7UJS998, the demon sitting inside of the courthouse. They're going to sit in federal prison. That court is going to be removed from existence. 20690D3, 8EBY873, 8ZHT617, 8VVU930, license 8YEF113. While the entity exercises fictitious authority under the law, that's grounds of federal prison. That's grounds of removing such methods of corruption, by the way. This is what law enforcement agencies are doing. This is what courts are doing. You're going to remove them from existence. Using airports to engage in state surveillance and terrorism, you're going to remove those from existence. You're talking about what are as I've identified, the hornet's nest, as I'm taking to what are hospitals engaging in the pattern. You're going to remove them from existence. 62082F3, 1530461. And you're talking about what is not only federal prison, removal from law enforcement, removal from the legal profession, removal from the medical profession permanently. All right, you are unfit. This is how an entity is engaging in the system. BJB, I can't really see that one. This is how an entity is engaging in the system. All right, and it is a matter of what is necessarily the way in which you are prosecuted, very specific with your tools facilitating group stalking. While you used the medical profession, you used the legal profession, you used what is the law enforcement to engage in facilitating group stalking. This is very specific, very, very specific. And those are also agencies and entities that you're going to remove from existence, and they're also going to sit in federal prison. All right. And it's not just those state and actors and or third parties and or businesses. FedEx is over here engaging in terrorism. I've heavily documented FedEx. They're engaged in ongoing obsessive stalking. FedEx is not the only one and not the last one. OK, but like I said, you're talking about what is understanding how I'm prosecuting the people. While I capture that video, 8XGU494 has evidence which is insurmountable, and you're going to sit in federal prison for that. That's why I'm capturing that video. Not because I need more of the state that is stalking me. I've already established that the state is my stalker. OK, that is already complete. I told you after I captured what is the state, I'm honing in on the people of the state because they're going to federal prison. 8EKU 402. You're going to create what is legislation so that they are sitting in where they belong in mental institutions. 6WRG 484, 7LKR 206, and understand the intent, which is to its own demise. This is a delusional, but albeit very dangerous psychopath. Dangerous while you want to stalk and engage in what is you're going to prosecute for this stalking conduct. That's a threat to your life. You want to engage in criminally monitoring somebody, and also you know that you're being documented. That's a threat to your life. And then you want to pull out a helicopter and fly over that person's head, whom you know is documenting this, which they have a right to, by the way, constitutionally and just as a human being. Why wouldn't you? Of course you're going to. All right? That's a threat to your life. While you then want to pull out a helicopter and fly over my head, I'm going to use that to prosecute the third parties that are the people of the state. You don't have any shelter where you work. It's a facilitating venue. Let me show you video of what is the fake sun where they work. Let me show you video of the fake sun over where they live, where the entity is stalking me by helicopter. You don't have any protection. The people of the state are going to be prosecuted. And there is no boulder that these demons can hide under. That's why I'm capturing that documentation. ITMDECO. And that's the significance of what I captured in Rancho Cucamonga, where there is no sun over the Ontario Police Department at the same time. Going back to what is no sun over the Ovid Family Community Library. Speaking to what is kidnapping, that particular agency, that city, and that venue, the Ovid Family Community Library, they're going to be prosecuted for that. But I'm using that evidence, showing you what is the ongoing P.O.C. while I'm in Rancho Cucamonga today. That is, again, the ongoing continuity of that documentation, speaking to a specific and ongoing ceaseless pattern, is serving for what is a massive prosecution. It's serving multiple purposes at one time. All right. So I want to be clear on that. That's the significance of what I'm capturing while they're literally handing over that evidence. You're not distracting me. What am I speaking to? I'm speaking to what's the entity. The entity is very terrified while I read license plates, okay? Doesn't want me to read license plates, doesn't want me to read names of businesses and addresses, doesn't want me to do that. So what do? I mean, instead of ceasing to engage in the P.O.C, psychopath, you pull out a helicopter. It's almost like throwing out bread to a bird, hoping it turn their head, or better yet, a treat to a doggy to try to get it to go the opposite direction. Oh, over there, to run over there to try to fetch my attention. The entity would rather be captured. And this is what I mean by inevitable. Even if I were to, or the ordinary target individual, because I'm showing you what is the system, I'm showing you what's a matter of public corruption, I'm showing you how you can document. All right, let me be clear. Mine is even more intricate than the ordinary target individual. They don't have to do everything that I've done. They don't have to do all that. If you are capturing what is a pattern of helicopters flying and you're doing it, capturing the environment, and which is very specific. Let me be clear. My documentation in and of itself, say somebody is documenting state surveillance in Idaho. You know that that's not the sun over them in Idaho while they're capturing that light source over their head, because I'm in SoCal, California. And the entity's keeping the fake sun over me at the Ontario Police Department, or at the Ovid Family Community Library, or the Upland Public Library. This is how my documentation is serving to help the ordinary target individual as well. Understand that. But let me be clear. While you are capturing that environment and an entity that's stalking you by helicopter, you're not in any way being distracted. The people of the state are engaged in what is a system of group stalking. The system of group stalking that's operated by the state is engaged in via the people. Even if I were not thorough enough to include the people of the state and specifically name them on my podcast and in video, I am still prosecuting the people. They are going to be prosecuted. It's going to be a massive prosecution. But like I said, this is an entity that is in no way avoiding what is judgment. Okay? But that is, I want to be clear, I want to capture that, because you want to understand what is the level of malice and how long. When I'm stating this is what needs to happen as far as punishment, I mean what I say. And I'm substantiated while I'm showing you what they do. I'm showing you that because you need to witness evil, and you need to understand when I say X, Y, and Z, this is what needs to happen to punish this. I'm telling you how to deal with Satan. I'm telling you how to deal with this criminal conduct. I am speaking on behalf of the ordinary target individual who is silenced, who doesn't have this evidence. I'm speaking to you about what they are experiencing, what is the mindset, the level of threatening and terrorism that they're subject to, what is also necessary as a matter of justice in that regard. And that's what's significant. While you want to pull out a helicopter and fly over my head, that is devastating evidence to the whole entity. You're not distracting anybody. This is what I mean. Satan is a loser in every regard. Are you kidding me? Over the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, and then with a straight face, those demons are going to sit up in a courtroom like you have any authority? That's the delusional entity. 8ZND447. They literally did that. They literally did that. Okay? And have been doing that. It's 10:52 a.m. Monitoring with communication devices, 8UMM645, 6DDR359, license 6XCB431, 4ZPY508, 98MR748. This is the state that's group stalking at the bus stop sitting next to me in operation of a communication device. And one that, if not an American citizen, deport them out of this country. They're not welcome here engaging in this criminal conduct with the state, with the people of the state. And they're doing so while these demons are pacing in traffic whose license plates I'm reciting. And they are monitoring on a larger scale with an entity that's pacing all around. All of the venues in relevant position. The Terra Vista Shopping Center, the the courthouse, this realty group, and it expands beyond that. I'm just giving you what is, looking at it at a macro level, and then understanding what the target individual is documenting while they're subject to it, while they're witnessing it. As a human being, you can only document what you can see, all right? You can't see what's a mile away, but they're monitoring a mile away. Understand that. I'm speaking to where I'm located because I'm going to prosecute the whole entity. Everybody's a part of this while they surround me with that environment. License plates, 8EJZ671, 8LZE786, and it's impunity while you have what is group stalking. The state doesn't have a right to sit at a bus stop in relevant position monitoring you. And that's the significance of understanding group stalking being underway. And that is speaking to what is impunity while you're stalking in plain sight and knowing that you're being documented. And so that is evidence against the people of the state. That is speaking to what is time in federal prison. It's 10:54 a.m. The entity's light source is directly over me at this bus stop where the entity is pacing all around. This is P.O.C. License 976. I can't really see that one. 8S KZ. Oh, I can't really see that one. You stress that one. 8WTC 575. 8HTK 302. Unifirst is monitoring. And Omnitrans is monitoring as well. Bus 1330, license 1404974, and directed light on the side of the bus while they pull up. They're crossing path, and that's what they're doing in video while the entity is stalking by helicopter. All right, this is P.O.C. That demon that I capturing images of, they're crossing path and direct light while they walk to the bus to get on their monitoring. Okay, and they're getting on surveillance cameras. And they're doing so at 10:55 a.m. This is P.O.C. This is the business engaging in state surveillance and terrorism. A sex offender, a demon operating a bus. This is an African-American male wearing glasses. He's got a beard and a mustache. Directed light while you hear that noise, that's P.O.C. License plate, 1404974, bus 1330, P.O.C. And what you see is a demon that comes to cross path because I did not get on the bus. She's maintaining presence. You see her operation of her communication device, doing so crossing path and doing so while you see the fake sun directly over my head at what is 10:55 a.m. I just captured this images. Let me make sure the time. Hold on. It is currently 10:56 a.m. Alrighty, that's the group stalking system. This is demonic activity, very precise with positioning and very deliberate and precise, simultaneous. You're dealing with demons. You're dealing with a demonic entity. That's why you have that. All right, and it's not an ongoing coincidence. It's also in a specific environment. 8XY8569, 8JPN131, 8WXS057. License 7UHK588, BNZ4D, EB 649, 7PBY427, 8UYG663, 8AHN612. Understand that these demons who are crossing path are as deliberate and acting in concert with the same entity that's flying over my head by helicopter. That gives you perspective, insight, what's going on. 6X KP 382, excuse me. License T7ALA14, I believe, Arizona. 41005L2, 9ALR117. All right, I'm just going to keep my podcast rolling, so you're going to hear me. I would ordinarily remove this part, but I'm just going to keep it recording so I can capture these demons as they're driving by. All right, so license plate 9BCA629, 6FMV929, I believe, 8ZRV362, 6VAS335, 5MSZ467, 8KM. I can't really see that one. You can scratch that one. United States Postal Service crossing path. But this is always the case. That's why I'm not reciting so heavily USPS. You're talking about what is delivering the mail. This is inherent to a state system. It's just embedded into society. The entity that's delivering your mail, the United States Postal Service, they're placing under surveillance. United States Postal Service is essentially always engaged in the P.O.C., by the way. All right. License plate 7KZH723. License LADLBLR, I believe, or Lady BLR. That's what that said. 8VYL307, 9BSX521, 8XXD263, COPELIA, 7JJF696, 5LJK 237, 1575763, 7EGG477. Toyo Tires 04623 H3. I'll prosecute them. Reliable Express, that's a trucking company. 9674VR is the back license plate on that truck. 8HHK713, 8WRY052, 8SBH634, 8TLU474. And the significance of what I'm capturing, they're all crossing path under the fake sun that's remaining over me at this bus stop, which is what I'm capturing while that demon walks by, which is crossing path after I do not get on the bus. What you're also going to pay attention to while you hear that bus drive by, guess what's not moving in the window, remaining in alignment with that bus? This light source is not. It's remaining right here stationary over me, where these demons are stalking as an entity. All right, and doing so while the entity is providing evidence to the fact that they're stalking as an entity, flying over my head by helicopter. All right, it's nothing but corroboration serving to prosecute the people of the state. But like I said, that's the entity keeping the fake sun. It's not moving over some window. That's the use of a business to engage in criminal conduct. I'll remove them from existence after I prosecute them civilly and criminally, and I'm referencing Omnitrends. All right, that is P.O.C. License 8JCS218, but you're also paying attention to what is not the sun at the Ontario Police Department. License 5MLS630, 6VXU 971, 8SCR015, I believe. HNK845, 8HQK430, SPTGGDS, 664ZGW, Nevada, 7VAC839, 8EZC874, 93976E3, Cucamonga Valley Water District, 1493718. Burtech crossing path. 8XDW707, 7XYS 836, 8NJE705, GRL 8OSS. There is no boss. That's a stalker serving Satan. You wish. You stalking me, honey. It is currently 11:02 a.m. under a fake sun. Moreover, you're a demon. No, demons aren't bosses of anything. They're slaves. Inferior ones. I'm sorry, I'm just referencing what is the license plate of this demon that's group stalking. Seven MFR 476. Seven FYL 169. And it is currently 11:03 a.m. That's Bird Tech that's being a group stalker. License plate. Under the fake sun, 6JKD 656. 7YGL 286. License 07062T2. Seven ZBA 842. 8SDJ 378. 8TVJ 597. 04452Y2, 9BDS 615, I believe, 7WFW 954, 6VKG 100, 41733G2, I believe. License 7EXB 747. License 7V32818. See, 7GZ, I can't really see that one. It's 11:04 a.m. C, license plate. This is a demon. 8YKF341. (7EKN 509). And when I document what is the entity stalking in a bathroom, understand these are all the sex offenders, including the city of Rancho Cucamonga, the Rancho Cucamonga courthouse, all those demons in relevant position. I'm documenting all of them. Everybody that's at work, every office inside of that courthouse, they're sex offenders engaging in state surveillance. This is massive documentation. At the same time, 7TFW 587. They're all engaged. This is the system of group stalking. It's a state system. So while the entity is keeping a fake sign at 11:05 a.m., remember that it's not over the Motel 6, over the windshield of the vehicle that I'm inside of at Motel 6 in Ontario. It's not over the Ontario Police Department yesterday. It's right here over me, not in the window of Omnitrans bus that I did not get on and it drove away. 7TCV 546. If the sun remained in the window, it wouldn't remain here. It's necessarily moving in alignment with me over my head while I'm en route on a bus that's moving from venue to venue. Capturing those still images. 8. You can scratch that one. License 8FNW141. 6FDD 536. 8SHJ 630. Alrighty, and just as I documented massively the entity out as I go to retrieve stolen property pursuant to a kidnapping by this entity yesterday at the Ontario Police Department, I'm documenting massively an entity while I'm in Rancho Cucamonga, capturing what is the demonic, the sun is not over your head, while I'm at that intersection. This is Archibald and inside of the Pacific Plaza across the street, the bakers and all those businesses using large trucks. I'm being molested with directed light. The entity is stalking by helicopter here at 11:05 a.m. The entity's light source is remaining stationary over me at the bus stop, and I'm showing you my surroundings where they're all monitoring together. All right, this is P.O.C. By the way, 11:05 a.m. is also referencing what is not over the roof of the Ovid Family Community Library, where I was kidnapped by this entity on June 16, 2022. License plate. 8MZU119. CD. Oh, I can't really see that one. You can scratch that one. JYV591. INRAAIP. It is currently 11:07 a.m. UUL 557. 8RQF 479. 8PUM 736. 8XWG 226. 6WJZ 741. 8XTZ 618. 8TLM 995. 3322. S52, I believe, 7ZEL 877. Penske truck, crossing path. Let's see, 9AVV 737. Penske truck rentals is not that third party license plate, but Penske truck, the company's crossing path. I didn't see the license plate of Penske truck rental, but that's a company readily identifiable. 9AML 773. Eight RWC 596. MHX. That's a red truck. The logo says MHX on it. That demon uses the sound of the train, loud noise while they cross paths. 150 GAG. Six AUD 469, I believe. 7TPW 817. 5ZWJ730, 8WNU979, 79871R2, 7MUW545, 8FWN853, 41916, 8WGE995. That's 8WGE995, 8WSC677, 7LEJ207, 7GRX644, 8MNC226, 8KHD251, 5RTF809, 7ZZD, I can't see the rest of them, 7JUG811, 17639M2, 32838U1. Seven ZUC 685, 8U47671, 7HNA433, 5FYP185, 8EQL632, this demon is crossing path at the Barton Plaza parking lot. License plate 7PTY122. License AHF1337, 74899S2, 9ATX093, 7R298, so 7927887. You can scratch that one, I can't see that one. 7KNH124, 8RIF658, 5XIP619, 5512OP2, C997W1, 8HVV176, 44B GPH, that's Florida, 5WFV023, that's an old white mom with a turkey neck, old as dirt, old dirt bag, coming close to the bus stop with a traffic signal light on. That's a method of stalking with light activity. And then she proceeds crossing path. She's monitoring an old demon. She's old as dirt. All right, around the corner from a croak. All right, monitoring. 8UUU098, 8DXC850. Three 4G2, 8XSK854, 8YNV625, 7CYJ303, 8SZY597, 8HXP988, 8GTA056, 4WESWTY, 6ZXY562, 4TSG781, 5CHY323, 7NDZ966, 46301Y2, 5PKE733, 8LEU007, 8KHF 8KHF895, 7AFT423, 7JJM540, 6YJT695, 6SPP112, 81429V1, that's UR hauling, the letter U, the letter R, hauling, truck, it's a large truck. By that I mean the noise that you're hearing, that's a large truck. On the opposite side of the street. I can't see their license plate, but I see the company name. ALMP422. Hold on. 7HNA 778, 7EKN 509, 8AZK 784, 7TBP 690, 87655M1, 7CKY 133, 9AHV 905, 8HGB 358, 9AQC 701, 7EJM 826, 6LPG 200, JT85TO, 8RWA 445, 7ZBY 505. Route. I am on bus 2353, boarding at 11:17 a.m. And that's where we're at right now, Aspen and Foothill, and the fake sun moves over me while I'm now on the bus. 8U18984. And this is P.O.C. Seven WJH390, TBJCG5, 8U. I think I read that. Mariposa, group stalking, molesting with directed light. 59692N1 is Mariposa. This is the demon monitor. License plate 5AUF645. That's the demon making noise in direct light. 7V. License, I can't use this one. License 86625D2. XPO Logistics 8UJW188, 6USS581. License 86139B2. You're listening to what are the weirdo demons that molest with directed light, maintaining knives, group stalking under a fake sun. So let me show you what this demon is doing. The fake sun is now moving while I'm on the bus. So this is the maintenance of noise and engineer light, 8WNE211. We're at Mayton and Foothill Boulevard. That's a demon. License up. I can't see the license, but FedEx is crossing path. She starts singing and clapping once I start recording. This is the demon. And the fake sun is over me. That's how you know that it's a demon, by the way. License plate 7YYL213, FL834CA, I believe. License 6PDH224, BT SNANA 8DSC. Oh, I can't really see that one. Seven MJF 258, I believe. crossing the path while the minion gets on the bus. And this demon is maintaining noise in direct light under the fake sun, which is not remaining at the bus stop, by the way. It's over the bus, over me on the window, while you hear clapping and singing. That's a demon. I want you to hear it, because this is the demon-possessed population. That's a psychopath that molests with direct light, monitoring by any means. Very weird. Very, very weird. Moxie at Foothill Boulevard. This is a company, Omnitrans, engaging in this satanic conduct. License plate TUECJR. A license plate 8XEK619. They are literally monitoring while this demon maintains noise. They're acting together. License plate 8XE369. Oh, that's SecTran. License plate 8X36922. 5TGC297. 9AUG177. 6XLC595. 9AVV105. Passing Rochester and Foothill. License 70EB522. CCAMOM. I think that's TUEC1R. That's the correct license plate. I said JR. It's 1R. 8XMN612. Yeah, Satan belongs in mental institutions. That's what you're witnessing. These are the demons that molest with direct light. This is revealing their condition. San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools, they're monitoring. License plate. 8YXR885, 8HOB379.
Stop requested. If possible, please use your
License 7MAT021.
Favor pulsar en la puerta trasera.
One 414-235. Showing you what's the fake sun over me while you're listening to a demon clap and engage in loud noise using their voice. I remain at the Ontario Police Department documenting the P.O.C. where the entity is keeping a fake sun there. That's how you know what is deliberate in that environment. This is the demon possessed. It's pathetic. That's why they're going to sit in mental institutions in federal prison. This is P.O.C. License at Longhorn at 12327, where the fake sun is over me, getting off at the bus stop. Thank you.
66. Please have your fare ready. Be fair. Pay your fare.
Alrighty, this is the license plate. This is bus 2353. With demon engaging what is ongoing noise. Indirect light under the fake sun. License 1545833. Alrighty, showing you what's the fake sun that moves when I get on that bus. Didn't move on the other one when I remain at the bus stop, but it moves on that bus. And what else do you hear? A demon clapping, making noise. What's the significance? It's audible activity. Indirect light under the fake sun, it's monitoring. It's also, this is that ritualistic satanic system in operation. That's a psychopath. 7REA253, and that while they're pacing around the bus with direct light, they're monitoring to that noise that she's creating. 8GVR782. License U371LO, 66259V2. 8JMY305, 8WGF080, and that is the very, very demented system in operation while you listen to that. That's why I want to let the tape roll. I want you to listen to a demon. The system, while they're also aware of the fact that I'm exposing it, the more that I expose, the more that you document, the more the entity engages in the conduct as I documented today in Rancho Cucamonga. All right? Psychopaths, 8RZN094, which are the demon possessed. 7CKU939, they're stalkers. 8SRF753. 2841519. That's Hub Group. Trucking Company 5TUR 950 8SPJ 949. Service Champions crossing path again 47704H3. License 88RK054 7DYA 377. ARRF70, that's out of state. BT39U61 paper. 02915D3 7BHA 318. WHEEZY Amazon Prime. License P899403, I believe, substantially similar. That's Amazon Prime, though, crossing path. Large truck. 9BIE474 LIZZYLV 36044W2 7RDY268. And what you're going to remember, again, this is big picture. Remember the analysis. It's not just the fact that I'm showing you what's a fake sun that remains over me, not the sun. It's also, again, with regard to what is not the sun over me at the Ontario Police Department while I'm at that venue, getting on what has been Route 87, all of that I documented yesterday, and every other venue. It's also not the sun while at this same venue where the fake sun, as I'm capturing it at this Victoria Gardens, the light source after 6 p.m. is over the same Victoria Gardens, not the sun. A bunch of demons stalking. Clapping their hands, making noise, monitoring. License 7PTN 907, 6PVX 374, 8FDB 571, 8YBF 277, MNDOZ HD 6TLU 554, 8XBU 104, 8GEF 043, I believe. 455N10, Nevada. License 8LJM 016. They're going to clap and chant their way right into mental wards. BM31Z13. You understand? You need to understand this is the condition of all of them. You got doctors and nurses, as I've documented, lawyers, whatever sort of profession that you deem to be sophisticated and high class. These are psychopaths. 8RXT694, 8SXB362, 8XSB362, 65554Z2. And the more you reveal Satan, the more Satan shows its face. The weirder and weirder they get. The more threatening. That translates into threatening. 98773K3, 55269T2, 7JQP388, 7XMZ553, 8PQL401, 8ZUF153, 8TBX989, 9E88727, that's CMM Trucking Incorporated, 49053M2, 01105J3, Motive Infrastructure Solutions, license 8ZRB592, 8PYN678, 60165C3, 9ALC187, AP8LSW354 is the backplate, BW11E61, 7GRX664, 7ZKN948. See, Heartland Express, that's a truck, large truck, FB4301, that's an Iowa plate, 7JHM688, 7SXJ583, 28131T2, CV085 handicap, 9AFX187, 167, 9AFX167. 231WD handicap, 6YEK109, 59713K1, all of them directed light on the ground in front of these vehicles, these demons that are pacing around. And the fake sun remains over me as I'm going to the opposite side of the street. I'll show you a picture. LAF E06 Florida, 7KNZ145, 6LBM441, 7HUY195, 6SAS981, 7GMX658, 8WOD001, 8NTX182, 7DQB436, 7T76033. And so as I cross the street on the opposite side of Foothill, the fake sun remains over me, moving over my head as I cross the street. And as you can see, Amazon Prime is group stalking and engaged in state surveillance. You can see that truck with that logo. License 6FPG388, and the fake sun remains over me as I go to the opposite side of the street. At the bus stop, it's on that opposite side of the street. I get off on the bus on Route 66, where then the fake sun remains over the bus that I get on. not the one that's traveling around. It's specific to the vehicle that I'm on, like it's specific to the building that I'm at. It's specific to wherever it is that I'm located. But not only that, as I cross the street, I want to show you what's that bus stop as I walk away from it. Fake sun is over my head as I go to the opposite side of the street. This is following with the light source in the same way that all of these demons are following around. This is state surveillance while they're monitoring and stalking as an entity, and there are a bunch of demons doing so, engaging in clapping and chanting in direct light under a fake sun. That's a demon that's monitoring, acting with these demons, pacing around in vehicles in that environment. Weirdos. All right, weirdos are going to go into mental wards. License 7LFT526, using a student driver vehicle. 7YFW971. 7BTS480. 7PJX119. 7WPE549. 7WNT330. 15339J2. 8HYX728. 8WOB522. 7VCE020. Okay, so this is Victoria Gardens. This is the Victoria Arbors, the people of the state that live in relevant position. State surveillance is a facilitating venue. Just speaking to where I'm at on Dade Creek while the entity is surrounding. Group stalking. Pacing around, in other words. 8ZKM258. .00536M2. 7VYU308. CD73617. 8TQS156. 8VXZ950. 7TGT538. 6WZY469. 8WD. I can't really see that one. 8SLS702. 8EIM302. 6WHJ791. 05349V1. 8VME144 Blue. CD37E97 Paper. 8WAK811. License 8ZQM058. GODWLN. 8GFM732. 6SJE037. 8KSS741. 53704J1. ZMRT 56677X2. That's another demon affiliated with the Army, monitoring. 6UGJ149. So they're representing on their license plate at least. License plate 8WDZ835. 7ALW294. 8KSS741. Guess I did not read that one. Seven WFN810, 7HWT942, 8LSB221, 8NUC336, 8GBC537, 8TZA523, 7CKY133, 9ALR651, . 9 7KYP553, 8UFX 812. 7MPU 585. 6XTM 092. Excuse me, 9BNU066. And this demon directed light while they're stalking in a Porsche. License RAPRNCS. That's a demon. That's a stalker calling themselves a princess. 7TFU587. BT83N7, I believe. I can't really see that one. 70YW376. YEK109. 6XXH285. 8CMA 690. 63685E2. MYLEXI, 8FAE 918. BELLAJL 8YYU 198. W949NO. 7ADZ 123. 8BGZ 130. Bay Alarm, BAY Alarm, Crossing Path, 8LPC 940, HEROCAT, 7RKU 102, 7GMJ 194, 8VYD 187. And this is, again, monitoring the venue of Victoria Gardens, the entirety of the venue. This is massive surveillance that's underway. That's why I've captured the demonic already, that which is not the sun, at an entirely different location, such as Chino. But not only that, the light sources, I captured it over the same venue, Victoria Gardens, while I'm standing in the parking garage area. And you see that fake sun hovering over the venue, the same venue where it's present now. Even doing so in the morning, you're talking about after 6 p.m. That's an impossible occurrence, and I captured the impossibility for images for you to see with your own eyes. 7XRF529, and that's the criminal system underway at a facilitating venue, which is Victoria Gardens, which you will prosecute. Massive prosecution. Everybody's gonna get it. (51603C3) 5PYZ552, FB475 handicap, CD82M82 paper, 8MDB377, 7GPG479, 5VBG654, 8FPM677, 9AWM930. T-Mobile, Seas Candy, Verizon, Carbon Health, Brio, monitoring. That's where I'm standing at right now, but it's the entire venue that I'm speaking to, where I'm located, where they're monitoring, pacing around me. 8ULP433, 8YYG770, 8UFB450, 8PID096, 7JQZ527, 7FIN456, 068NMP, that's Oregon, 7GXZ 580, 8DFA 213, 8MBU 222, 5UNT 436, 7VPA 949, 8XIE 480, 8CKX 176, 8NVY 358, 6FEU 770, 8HAC 633, 8KEP 699, 7SAR 581, 7YJF 535, 8RBF 289, 8KLJ 926, 7DNV 841, 7DHC 909, because I didn't read that one, 5PCXO 78, T807FO. Pretty sure I read that one already. E919KX 6FIT 489. The Cheesecake Factory. That's why I'm crossing the path right now. They're monitoring. OPARC, OPARC, loitering in relevant position at Victoria Gardens, engaged in monitoring with these demons with directed light, license 8PHB 272, 7RAV 577, 6BARRON, 7FRW 040, stalking in the path with light, surveillance, 8TSA 680, 8YEA 761, 8SXG 733, 8YVX 250, 8NRU 171, 6JIB 934, 8RQZ 683, 7UNY 046, 8YKW 041, 6PXU 100, P466NO. All right, Kingfish House. This is where I'm walking by. They're monitoring. License 8UOJ644, I believe. Yeah. 6AYH117, engaged in surveillance. And the food hall. This is where I'm located right now, crossing path. They're monitoring. 6VKU097, 8ZOF533. CD80N83 paper, 8KUJ342, CF052 handicap, 8BPZZ80, can't really see that one, but CF052 handicap, that's OPARC. License 8UHA956, 8FSK831, 8NVY299, 8KUJ342, 8JLV321, 7WFN810, 8XXY524, 8BPZ288, UPS crossing path, molesting, license 7HBS546. That's not the license plate of UPS. UPS is a part of the same sex offense over here, stalking at Victoria Gardens, while another minion is touching. They're minions that are together monitoring. 8XOH719. Ecolab, license 62217L3. ITSGLR. (8VPP501), 7TIX322, 8SJZ823, CHK9768, Arizona. All right, this is the Boulevard 66, the Pharmacy Board Shop, Electric Game Box, Laserway, Champ Sports, Nestle Toll House, Yard House, the Silver Lake Ramen. I'm over here by the food hall, the Forever 21 Windsor. They're monitoring. 8MXN857, 7ZFH912, This is, oh, it's Windsor. 7KHW069, the Sports Treasures, Les Macarons, French pastries. The address is 12478 inside of Victoria Gardens. They're monitoring. Remember, it's the entire property. I'm speaking to where I'm located, where the entity is surrounding me with activity. These demons that are pacing all around. California Pizza Kitchen, Sephora, Tilly's, and arriving at the Paul Bryan Library right here, where the entity is keeping the fake sun, as I've documented. And this is the entity that surrounds pacing on an ongoing basis. And this is where you're understanding what is criminal activity that's occurring amongst a society of the fallacy of privacy, the fallacy of freedom and liberty, where the state surveillance and terrorism is underway. And so this is where I'm walking toward now, the Rancho Cucamonga Library, the Paul A. Bryan Library. And this is P.O.C. The light source remains directly over my head. FedEx is crossing path. And this is the entity that is engaged in the violation of privacy. This is a perpetual sex offense. They are stalking and maintaining surveillance, engaging in predatory conduct in and outside and all around the private space. The entity that's stalking by helicopter and airplane, invading privacy together while panties are down, genitalia exposed, private activity inside of a private space is underway. That is that sex offense that's underway inside of the Paul Bryan Library. Righty, and this is P.O.C. arriving at 11:50 a.m. Fake sun directly over my head. And this is where the fake sun remains after 6 p.m. Already, that is the pattern of conduct. This is documentation, again, as I stated, federal stalking by entity in the bathroom, which is the perpetual sex offense. Hello. Hi. Becca? Hi, Becca. Can I, do you have any study rooms available? Nice nails, Becca. It's a demon stalker with noise, pacing around in engineered light. I'm standing at the circulation desk.
We should have one available at 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock? So that's like 10 minutes, right? Yeah. It's 11:52. Which one is it, do you know?
We either have the Day Creek one available, which is that big one when you first walk in, or we have one of the 2 people rooms that's down that reading enrichment space.
Okay. And these back here are unavailable?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, okay. And that's, is that for the whole day or just immediately? Like, can I make a reservation for later?
There's an hour block from 2 to 3 that's available, or 5 to 6.
Oh, yeah. And you guys close at 6, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm fine. Thank you. Hello. What's your name?
Camille.
Camille. Nice to meet you, Camille. All right. Capturing what is the entity stalking in the bathroom. That's a sex offender. This is the state facilitating venue, Paul Bryan Library. And the entity that you hear, these employees, this is the state that's engaging in surveillance, and surveillance is occurring in a bathroom. That's a sex offense, okay? By the people of the state and the state of California, and showing you also the environment that remains. It is indeed the P.O.C, and that is stalking in a bathroom. Very, very demented, predatory, and criminal. This is P.O.C. It is 2:45 p.m. 8ZVT124, 7SAT097, 8FBJ076. There's a bunch of demons pacing at Victoria Gardens. 8YDN000. And these demons inside a Yard House, inside of Forever 21, Windsor, where direct light is moving all across these stores. These companies are monitoring. This is state surveillance, and a bunch of demons are pacing around at this outdoor mall. They are demons pacing all around. This is terrorism. While you hear Frank Sinatra in the background, guess what that is? It's audible activity and directed light. And these are demons monitoring with communication devices. All right, it is currently, by the way, after exiting the Paul Bryan Library, it's 6:27 p.m. What I captured in images is also very, very terrorizing conduct. You're looking at what is the impossible. First of all, I'm present at this venue as I walk in during the 11 o'clock hour. And then I walked out again after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, where the entity is stalking in the bathroom. License, this demon is license 8NYG400. Where I walk out and the fake sun is in the same position over the entrance of the library. That's speaking to what is impossible. But not only that, while I walk out after 5:45 p.m., 8WKC950. These are demons in flashing directed light. License plate 8SJY334. So what the entity is doing is, first of all, I'm standing inside of the library, and I'm still around the circulation desk where you heard Becca And also, you heard the other third party, excuse me, those are state actors. Rancho Cucamonga is a city of Rancho Cucamonga library, so this is the state facilitating venue is how I'm classifying that. So anyway, the entity is aiming directed light onto the bookcases. And you pay attention, even the shape of the light is the rectangular shape of the windows, and it's diagonally downward across the book stacks. Absolutely impossible light. 35379X2 directed light 8ATN 910. And the entity is this directed light is on the book stacks. Nonetheless, I'm also standing at that window so you can see while I'm standing inside of the library. The fake sun is beaming through those windows. I immediately step outside, and the fake sun is in no position where you would see that from the inside. It's all the way up to the side. It's still there, but it's moved as I walk out. You're talking about seconds. That's demonic. BRB2FYB, VD3Z8T. And Tracy Banks is 4WO1432. That's audible activity and directed light. And the fake sun is what you're going to pay attention to in those images. Alrighty? It is currently 6:29 p.m. 9BBB742. And Stalking with Light. This is license 8FTK649 JUJU03. License BF64K48 paper 6SLM445 8TQR900. This is Victoria Gardens, where you'll see the fake sun while I'm crossing path with this vehicle with this license plate, who's stalking in the path with light activity. And this is the same Victoria Gardens that I was present at this morning, and that's the fake sun also moving from remaining over the library since 11 this morning, and moving as I move from that venue. But nonetheless, you're looking at what is a demon stalking with flashing light, and that's captured in the images. It's demonic activity. And this is at Victoria Gardens. It's currently, again, 6:31 p.m. P.O.C. All right, Night Swift Transportation Holdings Incorporated, license P342621, and what you'll see is them in the lane to the to my left on this is the 15 freeway, and the fake sun is right outside of my window, and Night Swift Transportation Holdings Incorporated is molesting me while I'm sitting inside of the car. All right, and that's the people of the state. Monitoring as well. Molesting is 79042V1, 7CLE 752, CTV 2513. 8ZAE 687. That's terrorism that Night Swift Transportation Holdings Incorporated is engaging in, and it's also a sex offense while a demon is engaging in that terrorism, and the impossible presence of the sun that's outside of my window on the 15 freeway at what is 6:39 p.m., which is nowhere near the Arrowhead Regional Medical Center inside of any doorway, nor is it over the Fontana Police Department or anywhere in alignment with the window of the Fontana Lewis Library or the Chino Branch Library. All of those venues, I'm documenting the same exact time the light source over me. This is the 15 freeway where Night Swift Transportation Holdings is monitoring, and they're group stalking, and they're touching my person. I'll prosecute them as a sex offender, civilly and criminally. This is P.O.C. 6YGK734, 6SYX278. Engage in ongoing molestation. National Cargo Solutions, US.379405. And the back license plate on this truck is 231246F. That's main license plate, main state. And we've got, let's see, this is the Salceda. Hold on. No, Alvarado Transport, US.232870. License plate XP74020. So again, pursuant to that demonic behavioral pattern, when you document the pattern of conduct, then you've got all of these demons engaging in the same. They're always molesting. But I want to be clear, the entity engages in rising that and increasing it as it's frustrated because it's going to be prosecuted, period. But I want to document, this is Biagi Brothers. Yeah, that's what that's on the back. Biagi. License plate 9F96281, molesting while each and every one of them driving by. It's an impossible occurrence in the first place. And so you have a bunch of demons who know that they're being documented. And so let me document some more, because I will prosecute all of them while they're engaging in that ongoing, that's impunity. That's what I'm describing right now. And this is what the entity is doing on the freeway while the fake sun remains over my head through the windshield. 8MYZ773, where they're group stalking and touching a sex offender. That's what Biaggi Brothers is. That's what Alvarado Trucking is. And I'll prosecute companies as sex offenders because that's what they're doing. That's what the state is doing. This is demonic activity. So you're going to prosecute that in all of its iterations. All right. While demons are stalking, driving commercial vehicles, you're going to prosecute those companies civilly and criminally. And they're doing it in a very specific environment, and that's the direct evidence for which you have no legal argument. That's why you're under that environment. And the ways in which you're using, I'm going to prosecute everything that you're doing about it. And you're doing it with knowledge because directed light is an impossible occurrence. And so you're intentionally engaging in that sexual violence and harassment and terrorism while you know that I just documented your demonic counterpart. Night Swift Transportation Holdings molested me while they're in a lane next to me on the freeway. This is P.O.C. So I want to document that. 94063V1. License 8ZAB341. These are all demons that are stalking on a freeway. Understand the P.O.C. that's underway. A demon-possessed population. Seven YVS 053, I believe. I can't really see that one that clearly. 1433151, which is law enforcement, which 8VNT994, 7JBJ153 are stalking with them under the fake sun. Demons on the freeway. License 5VMN785, 8ELP006. And this is 8ROJ881. And as you're paying attention to what I'm documenting, you're having a response for every demonic tactic by an entity. So then you want to stalk with the police, you'll go to federal prison. 54732E2, and it's just that easy. All right, while they're engaging in terrorism. This is how an entity engages in terrorizing and communicating threats while you're documenting them. All right, that's license plate 6CWN179. License 7XVG226. It's 6:47 p.m. 8URK697. 8BHG028. 18301M3. 8MKB8, 980, 8TRR395, 6SBM522, 6JXB767, CD5OU51. These are demons that are pacing in direct light, which the fake sun is now off the freeway onto Euclid Avenue, where the entity's keeping the fake sun, by the way. As I exit the Upland Public Library, go to the 7-Eleven, get on Route 83, and go to Euclid and Hull. Now, when I'm on the freeway coming from Rancho Cucamonga, that's why I'm able to capture that over the freeway. Remember that. I'm going to prosecute them. 7FWR669. P.O.C. These are demons pacing all around. There's no sun remaining over Euclid Avenue, and you're not going to see it on the 10 freeway while it's remaining directly over me on a bus at the bus stop outside of the Upland Public Library. 8YYR227. After it's remaining all day long over the Paul Bryan Library. This is P.O.C. 8WME821. 8TYV541. Heart MIHUBY. CD50H49, in case I didn't read that one. Alrighty, this is a third-party group stalking. 83EIX927. Now, at what point do you think the sun is remaining over Hope Boulevard and then somehow it's making its way still over me at the B&G Plaza in Ontario after remaining in Rancho Cucamonga all day? And not just in Rancho Cucamonga, it's over my head while I am at that venue, at the Panera Bread, at the Rancho Cucamonga Chamber of Commerce, or an entirely different venue. That's not over the B&G Plaza at the same time. It's not over the Ontario Museum. But I come right back to this block, and that's where the fake sun is. This African-American male who I'm capturing images of, he's group stalking. The entity is molesting me with directed light. You can see my shadow on the glove compartment. And so I'm showing you what's behind me, which is the tinted window of the back windshield. The entity's fake sun is over Hope Boulevard, over the vehicle where I'm at, coming from Rancho Cucamonga. That's a demon that's waiting to get out of the car with simultaneously. He's surrounding me while I'm sitting on the passenger side. 5SQE129, and he's monitoring me with Tracy Banks, one who has sacrificed her own daughter. This is a demon. Group monitoring is a matter of what is demonic activity and engaging in what is satanic targeting of somebody. And it's supposed to result in what is the sacrifice of somebody, either in resulting in someone who will hopefully, and this is based on the demonic system, hopefully that you'll engage in suicide, take your own life, lose your mind perhaps, if again, you're not suffering from a mental illness. So the design is that, and the intention is that through such stalking conduct, as I've shown all of it, which is why they instead, the entity is going to be prosecuted, and they will be sitting in mental institutions, and they will be sitting in federal prison. But the design is that you are one who will take your own life, or you are one who will lose your mind, all right, voluntarily even go into a mental institution subject to this type of system. All right, so anyway, that's the pattern of conduct, and that's the significance of group stalking that Tracy Banks is engaged in. Look at the directed light while I'm sitting in her car. And the fake sun is over Hope Boulevard, coming from Rancho Cucamonga. That is the specific movement following of a light source, okay? And she's sitting here monitoring me with these men who are molesting, touching on my thighs. I'm going to prosecute this sex offender. On surveillance cameras at S.I.I.S Liquor, touching on my thighs and my stomach with directed light. That's a demon. That's what Night Swift Transportation Holdings is engaged in. That's what S.I.I.S Liquor is engaged in. An 8VYE320, demons that are pacing in and out and touching my body with directed light while they're engaging in stalking on behalf of the state of California. All right, because the sun is not going to be over Hope Boulevard where it's present over me at this video in the morning, when I'm getting up very, very early, and in the afternoon as well, and I've documented it here in the evening. But you're also understanding, I'm going all the way to Rancho Cucamonga, and then the sun is remaining over me, and then I come back to the same block where it's over me in the morning. That's the P.O.C. And sunlight is not bouncing off of objects and ricocheting and creating its form on asphalt and moving on. That's the demonic pacing. All right, and they're touching you while they're doing that. That's what Night Swift Transportation Holdings was doing on the freeway, and I'll prosecute them as the sex offenders that they are. 8VYE320, and that's that African-American male, okay? This bootleg thug who was stalking somebody. There's nothing extra about that. And he's going to go to a cage where he belongs. He's a sex offender touching while he's stalking with 8VYE320. Alrighty, that's P.O.C. You can see the fake sun over this sex offender's head while they are touching together, engaging in that sex offense. This is S.I.I.S Liquor engaging in the sex offense as well. All right, this liquor store obviously is not going to make it. I'm going to prosecute them. But I'm documenting what is very serious criminal activity, and the directed light is aiming into S.I.I.S Liquor. You're hearing demons opening and closing doors, directed light while they do so, using the opening and closing of doors to stalk with audible activity, doing so under fake light. These are demons, inferior demons who are stalking, and this is what is the condition of every single one, no matter what city. Those demons driving around in Porsches, this is a demon that's over here in a Pinto, okay? A broke down bucket. Demon possessed alike, sex offender alike, obsessed stalker alike, all right? It's the P.O.C. It is currently 7:03 p.m. where the entity is molesting at S.I.I.S Liquor. 125? Okay. Hold on. Directed light on the, what is that? Your Crown Royal liquor? Directed light on the liquor behind the register through the aisles. This is terrorism. The entity stalking with light. It's prosecuted as terrorism. It's an ongoing communication of a threat. While knowledge of being documented. Alrighty, P.O.C. There you go. I'm going to pay with my card.
Card? $195.
License 5YEF601. You'll pay attention to this is the same exact pattern that you saw inside of 7-Eleven at 204 North Euclid Avenue in Upland, California. That's exactly what the entity is doing. I've shown you the directed light stretching on the inside of the store and then also stretching on the outside while the door is opening and closing, as though you've got a whirlpool of light when you're going inside and outside of the venue. It's entirely demonic. It's a sex offense. It's an ongoing touching. And those are demons that are then shopping all around you and working at the venue. And you're also going to see while I'm inside of S.I.I.S Liquor, the fake sun glaring in all of its essence through the windows of that liquor store. Where it's on top of that liquor store at 7:50 in the morning, the sun would not remain present, be visible through that window of that liquor store, literally looking at that same light source from, again, 7:50, 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. The light source is over the Metro 102 apartments right now. The same Metro 102 apartments when I'm standing there and it's over my head at 8 o'clock in the morning. The minion that is engaging in the sex offense inside of S.I.I.S Liquor is a paper plate, CC25G62, and he's engaged in surveillance, engaged in what is criminal monitoring, demonic activity, which is terrorism, a sex offense molesting with this blackface demon, 3EIX927, who's engaged in surveillance and impermissible threat. He looks like he's been to jail a lot of times. He's going to sit in federal prison and he's not going to get out. And this is a demon that's engaged in ongoing surveillance, doing so with the entity that is pacing in and out, okay? Sitting in the parking lot while the entity is engaging what is direct light. As I'm documenting it while they're walking out, these are demons that are pacing in and out of a door. Directed light while they're outside, directed light while the it's occurring on the inside of the store as well. Hi, yeah.
They got that all blocked off because of that carnival. Let's go to the mall and have a pretzel.
Why? Why?
Come on, get in.
Okay, license plate. Let me get 6F20877. Montclair Plaza, molesting with directed light. Oh goodness, laughing at Satan. They're trying to hurry up and cover up their face. And anyway, the entity is aiming directed light, reaching all the way into the depths of the store, and also while demons are walking out of the entrance of the Montclair Plaza. Of course, this is the Montclair Plaza. Let me remind you something. When I'm at Target and it's directly over my head as I exit that Target is directly across the street from the Montclair Plaza Mall. I'm there after 10 o'clock in the morning. I believe it's around 10:23 in the morning. The fake sun is directly over my head as I walk out to show you that on video. The sun would not be present across the street over the Montclair Plaza. And of course, sunlight is not creating laser beams while you're opening and closing the door. And that's occurring both on the inside and outside. And these demons, that is the Montclair Plaza, is a sex offender. All right. Demons are pacing around, maintaining presence inside of the mall. Let me show you. This is demonic activity. Criminals that are monitoring, sex offenders. Alrighty, in operation of their communication device while they're standing in line buying a pretzel, while they're working inside of the clothing stores, while they're pacing around, sitting in an irrelevant position. And I'm walking in, that's a sex offense that Montclair Plaza is engaged in under what is not possibly the sun. Where I'm at, again, you're going to look at a map, so I've already documented this. The fake sun is over me at 10:23 a.m., which I used as a comparison. I'm in Chino, California, in the parking lot of what is a fake church, Mary Margaret, at the same time. That's just an example. I'm at the Ovid Family Community Library at 10:23 a.m. Today, I am in Rancho Cucamonga at 10:23 a.m. While the entity is flying over my head at 10:18 a.m. with a helicopter, right outside the doors of the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court at the Barton Plaza. That's where the fake sun is over me. But nonetheless, I did capture it here in Montclair across the street from this mall where there's a fake sun hovering over me and the sex offender that I will prosecute. This is, again, speaking of public corruption. There are many businesses, okay, many state officials, the courts, the sheriffs, the police departments that you're going to shut down. All right, removing them from existence where they're engaging in and facilitating terrorism. And this is a sex offender. I'm going to prosecute a venue as a sex offender because that's what they're doing. All right, and they're targeting you together while you're subject to that sort of light activity, walking in and out. And then these demons know that they're being documented. That's a violent sex offender. Anywho, you're looking at what is a map to understand with and it's not hard to understand. The target is directly, the target in Montclair is directly across the street from this mall. That's speaking to the maintenance of the light source. That followed from Hope Boulevard, by the way. That's not occurring when the entity is setting the sun at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, where I'm standing at that intersection beside T-Mobile at 101 South Euclid Avenue. And it's over me at the Montclair Plaza, which also, again, by the way, across the street is the target where the fake sun is directly over the top of my head at 10:23 in the morning. This is state surveillance that they're engaging in. They're monitoring at Potato Corner inside of the Montclair Plaza. You're looking at demons studying their communication devices. This is ongoing surveillance that's underway. They're monitoring together. And this is demonic activity. And this is, again, attributed to the venue that is the Montclair Plaza. You can prosecute literally by the name of the venue. That's how you're going to get to group stalking. The state is doing it through everyone, everywhere. And you're talking about the ordinary American citizen. You're going to use whatever information that because literally, with regard to prosecuting it, that's all you need. By the way, it is 7:35 p.m. where I'm walking in to the venue of the Chino, not Chino, but also documentation showing after 7 p.m. the entity is keeping the fake sun there. But not Chino. I'm at in the city of Montclair, and the entity is keeping the fake sun over me while I'm walking into this mall and then reaching across. Understand that's an act of targeting in and of itself. So you're prosecuting for everything that a targeted individual is subject to. While demons are targeting you, and it's also terrorism while they are stalking you clearly, and then they're acting surrounding around you like they're not focused on you. That's entirely demented. And this is what Satan is doing. All right, but you're also aware of what is a threat to you and targeting you amongst a bunch of demons who are all focused on you while directed light is reaching across the room while you're walking in the middle of the food court and directed light is flashing all about them, an impossible occurrence. The fact that it's occurring is terrifying. That's scary, that's weird. You're like, what? And it's occurring all the time. You're talking about what's a pattern as you're referring to it in clinical terms, but an ordinary targeted individual, understand cognizant of what is the ordinary person's experience who may not have some nomenclature to describe it, some way in which you're going to create some sort of way to prosecute it. All right, so this is what I'm advocating on whose behalf, who is voiceless. I'm giving a voice to those who are subject to this, and this is the conduct of Satan. All right, and so you're talking about reaching across the room and touching them with light. You're targeting them amongst a bunch of demons who are also psychopaths, subject ripe for mental institutions of federal prison, while they're present vicariously on behalf of the police who are placing under surveillance, and also while they're engaged in the demented system of carrying on about as though it's normal society. It's not, but they're targeting you, and that is also communicated through that very environment. It's demented, and it's terrorizing while people are questioning, causing you to question, because that's what the ordinary target individual, that's what I'm getting at. You're looking at what is the environment, you're subject to it, but then you would cause yourself to question your own sanity when you're looking at everybody else acting like nothing's happening. And that's the design of the pattern. I want to be clear. It's demonic as well. What? Oh, sure, I'll listen out for everything. That's fine. That is speaking to the malice of the system. And this is speaking to what are psychopaths who will go to federal prison and mental institutions by the very pattern of conduct itself. Understand that malice. That's a psychopath. That's the design of the system. That's why I love for you to see what are the videos of the people that are sitting around me in Starbucks while the directed light is all around. That they're not persuading anybody that that's normal. They're not normal. You know that they're demons. I've already shown you. You know this by the environment. And you're looking at them carrying on about as though it's normal society. They're not fooling anybody. They're not even fooling themselves. They're literally trying to keep a straight face while I have a camera in it, okay? But that is speaking to what is literally puncturing that system. You're not supposed to be documenting it, first of all. And second of all, you are talking about what is, I've pointed out every aspect of their P.O.C. So then what are you focused on? You're focused on the psychopath that you're looking at, who's targeting somebody else and doing it as the demons that they are, not causing this targeted individual to question. My sanity is pristine. That's why I'm showing you what is the pattern of conduct. They are seeking to cause the targeted individual, the ordinary one, to question their own sanity. All right, it is also that which is entirely terrorizing, and that brings into question the third party's sanity, not the targeted individuals, by the way. While you're targeting them, which is a matter of evidence, and directed light, you are targeting them, and you are stalking, and you are a demon, a terrorist, that is. While you are in that specific environment, and the pattern of conduct, the design of the system whereby the demon possessed are actually the psychopaths, the mentally disturbed, who are targeting an American citizen, and that system is designed such that it would be actually flip-flopped. You're looking at what is entirely unintelligent. It's not even intelligent, it's not sophisticated, it's just evil, all right? You're talking about what both that design, the malice of that design, and the pattern of kind of engaging in that pattern in and of itself. That is the evidence of one that's a psychopath that belongs in a mental institution. Also the level of criminality, the vicarious stalking on behalf of an entity, the state, grounds of federal prison. All right, and this is what they're doing inside the Montclair Plaza, and I'm prosecuting by address, by the name of the venue, the Montclair Plaza, under what is a fake sun and indirected light, touching on my thighs, touching on my bottom, touching on my stomach, while directed light is occurring, again, the pattern on the inside of the mall and on the outside. While demons are walking out, directed light fanning across the ground outside, walking down the ramp, the food court side, and then walking inside, reaching across the space of the food court, reaching all the way across, which is terrorizing in itself. All right, while you are being targeted amongst a room full of demons who are targeting you by that very conduct, psychopaths who are outwardly conducting themselves as though they're consumed in conversations or shopping or doing whatever it is that they're doing in the venue when they're not. They're stalking and monitoring you. All right, and that's the conduct. That's not speaking to the fact that you are anything but a stalker. That's what it is. It's revealing you're a stalker. The outward conduct of the group stalking entity is not suggesting anything other than the fact that they're a bunch of psychopaths. It's unpersuasive. All right. It is also irrelevant with you're talking about presence in that environment, which is group stalking, presence in that environment on behalf of an entity that's placed you under surveillance, which is grounds of federal prison. All right. That entity is the state. And then you're doing so witnessing what is the demon possessed. Those are the psychopaths stalking you while looking the opposite direction. All right. Which, again, the malice is supposed to cause you to question your own sanity. And that's not working. That's not what it is. That's not what we're doing. And you will go to mental institutions. And this is video that I'm telling you, this is evidence. This is how you're going to use it. You're going to flip the malice on its head. The entire system. While I'm documenting you on video and you're engaging in terrorizing another American citizen, you are literally bringing up in a federal court the direct relevance of your mental instability while you're engaging in that malice against another person, because it's a matter of direct evidence. So you're talking about what is sitting there acting like you're normal and you're not. You're going to find yourself in a mental ward. And that's exactly how you're going to prosecute demons. because that's where they belong. And that's what that conduct, that's what that behavior demonstrates, contrary to the design of the system, where it's supposed to result in the criminal defamation of the targeted individual. That's how you're going to prosecute that. And it's necessary as a matter of justice, because that's exactly what they're doing. And that's the malice, that's the evil, wicked design of group stalking, which is satanic. All right, you're going to remove them from children whom they pose a threat to. You're going to remove them from the public, which they pose a threat to, that outward and unpersuasive act as though they're engaging in something else, all right, which is group stalking. This whole system of public corruption is fully exposed, and that goes all the way, you're talking about up the ladder. They're not engaging in any thing other than what is group stalking. You're not normal. You're not focused on something else, contrary to what you want your outward behavior to dictate or suggest to somebody who's documenting it under the fake sun and then directed light, while an entity's stalking you by helicopter and you're just, just walking by. That's one that's going to be in a mental ward. And so literally while I capture that, that's the evidence speaking to what is where you belong. That's the evidence suggesting that mental instability, that threat to the public. Okay? So that's how you're analyzing that, because that's what it is. Showing you what is ongoing surveillance inside, group stalking inside of the mall. The fake sun is over the mall. Directed light, as I'm speaking to, molestation, and these are demons that are pacing all around, because that's what they're doing. This is not normal people. This is not a normal population. This is demonic, and they're pacing all around. In the environment, this is demonic pacing. That's what Satan is doing amongst the people. They're targeting you, and they're also doing so while they're monitoring on communication devices. This is surveillance underway, and you're looking at demons that are focused on their communication devices. This is what the entity is doing. This is the pattern of conduct by the people of the state as I originally observed it years ago, all right? And as I began documenting the people of the state, the entity that is in no way capable of protecting the people of the state from a prosecution, they're going to mental wards, they're going to federal prison, and you're going to remove the courts from existence. You're going to remove the police departments, the sheriff's departments from existence, and they're not protecting anybody. When you want to fly over my head by helicopter, that's direct evidence against the people of the state, and it's also evidence against you. And that's the design of the system, though. Oh, it's supposed to terrify you to the point to where I guess you're going to pass out from so much fear, and I'm just going to stop documenting. That's what I guess that's what Satan intends. Having never faced what is prosecution, obviously, for what is conduct on behalf of an entity, that's pointing directly to your criminal counterpart, and I will use your criminal activity, which is their criminal activity, against your criminal counterpart, who was present in that environment while you're stalking by a helicopter. They're stalking me by helicopter, communicating a threat with you, all right? And they'll sit in federal prison where you're going as well. All right, and I'm referencing the entity that engaged in that today in Rancho Cucamonga. And it's currently 7:44 p.m. and this is state surveillance at Montclair, a sex offender. 6 millimeter U.S.A. Montclair, they're monitoring where these demons are operating their communication devices. They're maintaining presence. They're group stalking while other demons are pacing around. They're group stalking inside of Forever 21, inside of Tory, Auntie Annie's, Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, Potato Corner. I already read State of Forever 21. I'm on the second floor. So you've got these venues around, and this is the context of what demons are doing in that specific environment, and that's why that environment follows you around. All right, it is currently, again, 7:44 p.m., and this is P.O.C. at the Montclair Plaza. And it is currently 7:54 p.m. And so I took images of what are the surrounding venues inside of the food court. And from where I'm sitting, I'm in the depths of the food court. The entity is aiming flashing direct lights swirling around this bench right here where I'm sitting in front of the third party that drove me here. All right, the same one who you see while the entity's flying over me by helicopter, the same, just like you saw the other night outside of the apartment and inside of the apartment. This is directed light. So she just identified herself while she's in operation of the communication device. And this is where I'm seated, where the flashing light is occurring around where I'm sitting inside of the food court. And this is surrounded by, again, you'll see in the pictures, all these tacos, Panda Express, Pokeway, Noodle World, Boba World. This is inside of the food court where the entity is surrounding with that directed light. This is a specific intent to further terrorize, to further harass, to further molest. While I'm documenting and going out everywhere. That's impossible. Sunlight's not going to do that. That's directed light. The entity is going to that extent. This is Montclair Plaza. That's the entity right now. I'm documenting. I'm prosecuting. You're talking about what is the companies. I'll isolate it down to the company that is Pokeway at third-party facilitating being Montclair Plaza. You're going to isolate at prosecution. But right now, Montclair Plaza, this is the demon-possessed entity. The group stalker is the Montclair Plaza. And the entity is swirling directed light across me at this bench where I'm seated. And as I sit here, targeting that light activity. And then you're looking at a bunch of demons that are sitting around you, group stalking together. All right, so I want to document that. It is currently 7:55 p.m.
Will be closing closing in 5 minutes.
That's a
okay?
demon that works over
Just
here,
go
sweeping
ahead.
in relevant position. She's got short, boyish cut with a communication device while she stops to create audible activity. They're not sweeping, they're pacing around in direct light. And I've also shown you what is the sex offender that is the group stalker Montclair Plaza, while demons congregate inside of the bathroom in direct light, pacing in and out. They engaged in that, and I've already documented that by light on video already. And I've also documented the Montclair Plaza stalking with the entity flying over my head by helicopter. The same third party that just identified herself on her communication device, who you hear in the background, was with me while the entity flew over my head by helicopter as well. This is the same venue, Montclair Plaza. All right, so I just want to be clear, that's what the entity is engaging in, with knowledge of the fact that I'm documenting it. This is the very evidence that is going to result in what is the shutdown. When you're exposing public corruption, you're going to remove from existence these companies where the state system is underway, and it is a decisive act with regard to removing and plucking from existence not only agencies and courtrooms, etc., court buildings that are engaged in public corruption, the hornet's nest, if you will, as I refer to it, the people of the state. Not only are the people themselves, they're going to sit in federal prison, they're going to mental wards. You're going to remove these companies, these buildings, these facilitating venues as the penalty for engaging in that. This is terrorism inside of the mall. It's terrorism instead at Victoria Gardens. Alrighty, that's the P.O.C. It is currently 7:57 p.m. Omnitrans group stalking in perfect alignment with the entrance doors of the mall. You'll see this minion with her communication device crossing path. That's the surveillance conduct, and this is Omnitrans. That is Route 87. It looks like that is crossing path. Oh no, 66. I can't really see the bus route, but that's Omnitrans. That's group stalking, just like they were this morning, and they're at the bus stop that's on the street right here outside of the mall. 8KUH 671, 7VYX 607, 7NMD 344, 8YWB 973. Now remember what I'm documenting right now. The entity engaging in terrorism, they're going to go to federal prison for this. 8YCL 683, 6XAC 799, waiting until I walk into the parking lot to reverse out, stalking with light. Engaging in a sex offense while Montclair Plaza is the venue where they're engaging in this criminal system and molesting and terrorizing inside of that venue. 66473H3, 8LSL386, 8TBN 652, 4GTS 239.
What do you need, man?
You're molesting me, that's why. Yeah, whatever, man. That's a sex offender. He's molesting with direct light, touching on my thighs, touching on my bottom with directed light. 4GTS 239, and he's going to federal prison. 6CUA 183, 8DNC 908, 8CVK 968, 8GRF 880, 7BTY 396, 8RNC 480. Engaging in surveillance, sitting in the parking lot, aiming light. And this is while I am walking out, they're engaging in what is maintenance of crossing path. Everybody's going to their car as I'm walking by their car. They're starting their ignitions, stalking with light. These are demons. 8SVG 459, 8PON 345, 5APV 611, 068GY handicap, 8JZB 321, 8AFS 822, 7NUM 446. And again, that's Omnitrans engaging in that as well. I have a pool of defendants that I've specifically documented, but it's not going to be a mystery with regard to who's going to sit in federal prison for that, as Omnitrans is fully engaged in the P.O.C. while I'm at the Montclair Plaza. Alrighty, this is P.O.C. at Montclair Plaza exiting the venue, and that ongoing obsessive group stalking as I walk out. 6CUA 183, P.O.C.
Saved messages. New message.
8NVX 240, 7PPA 531, 8EDD 894, 8EDH 397, 8TXV 115, 7RDW 162, 5USS 096, 8ZUJ 577, G8 TRONX.
So you really don't want any of the chicken and fries?
License 5WJD 655. 8NXV 240, 8PRL 730. All right, and this is a collective, a demon-possessed entity that's engaging in terrorism inside of your neighborhood mall, and that's the prosecution of that entity. That is the mall acting on behalf of the state. That's the Montclair Plaza Mall, and the entity engaging in what is terrorism inside of the walls of that venue, and then also isolating it even down to company names, all those restaurants, every single last store inside of that mall, and the mall itself. All right, you're talking about prosecuting to the nth degree on behalf of an American citizen who has a right to not be subject to what is this conduct on behalf of a demon-possessed entity, that level of terrorism, which results in what is federal prison and sitting in mental institutions. Alrighty, and that's exactly what they engaged in, including the entity using companies to engage in that. It is 8:03 p.m. This is P.O.C. 9 a.m. J131. TWJ004 and ARCO at 434 North Euclid Avenue in Ontario, California. 8HZU671. 7MIZ261. 6WYR397.